only locally owned and operated radio station in all of Tallahassee. Thanks for that. Thanks for watching on Warchant TV, the YouTube channel. Thanks for checking out the Jeff Cameron Show in any way that you consume, whether that's a pod, a video, a radio, whatever it might be. We appreciate it very, very much. There's no other way, right? It's pod, it's video, it's radio. There's no.
I suppose there's the hallway. If you
work around us,
if you put your ear to the door.
The downstairs people probably love my intro every day.
You know,
I suspect they don't.
Yes, we're on the second floor of this here particular building, and when I come in each day, and if the board is left on, meaning the air feed is on in my room,
you think, damn.
I'm like, oh man,
yeah, somebody's at a desk somewhere going, son of a bitch.
Right, and it's
your local news update.
Yeah. Man, I would have complained years ago.
Sure.
That's all right. Not my problem.
No, we're not downstairs. We're right here in a studio doing a radio show, rolling on a Redemption Thursday, and in a good mood to boot. I mentioned to you, we did, you and I got together, and we were just talking about various elements about, how the week has played out. And it's something, man. It's something to watch the videos sort of pour in because the All-22s get fully vetted and the people who have access to them. And I would desperately like to have that. But, whether it's folks at the ACC network or it's an individual that covers nationally college football, whoever it is, once they've had a chance to really digest the big matchups, you begin to see the clips that TV coverage cannot grasp or does not have the scope to be able to see. And when you do that, Florida State's win is even more impressive this past Saturday. Now, I know we're on to the next, and it changes perceptions and what's possible, and we're all excited about that. But, man, revel a little bit longer. Let it wash over you a little bit longer. Not just that Florida State won. By now, that's hit home. Not just that Florida State won convincingly after last season's debacle. This season could not have opened in a grander fashion. All of that is, we got a good, firm understanding and grasp of that. But when you see those clips, you really do see the impact in the trenches. You really do see the impact of a player like Earl Little Jr. coming up and wrecking shop. You really do see an Ashland Barker or a Cryer or really just the massive humanity at times that Darrell Jackson is taking on two blockers. You really do see the what for that we've been begging to see from a defense and an offense that lacked it for all of last season or the vast majority of last season. And it becomes a much clearer picture, and it's one that is fun to enjoy, fun to watch, fun to take in. And now you get into what does it mean? We shall see. Where do we go from here? Well, we go to a football game on Saturday, Doak Campbell Stadium, Bobby Bowden Field. We go to Hotel Indigo on Saturday as well. Tom and I will be there. Various folks from the Warchant crew will stop by. Always appreciate that. Hopefully you guys will too. It's an early game, so we'll be there early. We'll have the Warchant Game Day pregame show for you that will air at 9 a.m. Tom and I will record that and make our way over to Indigo, shaking hands and sipping on a mimosa or a Bloody Mary or a screwdriver or some such thing while we talk Florida State football with you. FSU Center Luke Pettibone getting awards and well thought of kudos. I think the entirety of that offensive line is true. And then we hear from Tony White about how proud he is of the nastiness that his defense showed in this game against Alabama. A lot of accolades. Now it's time to buckle up, get focused on what needs to be accomplished here. Not lost in all of this. Very quickly, please allow me to at least make a note of this, because I'm telling you, I think we may have really hired the right guy on the basketball trail. This continues to be so impressive. They get another top-tier recruit yesterday evening, a small forward who's a four-star player. It is another top 100 recruit, Tom. It's a really ambitious goal that Luke and his staff has. I had a chance to talk on Saturday to the assistant coach, Michael Fly, and I enjoyed my conversation with him, and I talked a lot about how one after the other they seem to be shooting for the stars. It's strange to me to see Florida State attempting to bring in a top 5 player, a top 15 player, a top 20 player at the position. That's not normally somebody you can get. They're going for it. They believe they can get them, and they're getting some yeses.
And it sounds like they might not be done with this 2026 cycle in terms of top 100 players.
No.
They got 2 in the fold, and they might be getting another. And what's interesting to me is you listen to the circles around the basketball program. I know you've been in a lot of those over the years from different points of view.
Right.
Rev share was going to be a little over $1 million, $1.25, $1.50.
Maybe closer to 2 this first cycle. Go ahead.
And then, because you don't have the cap, it's
That's
half
correct.
and half.
That's correct.
So you could have front loaded and spent. But if Luke is getting this many yeses, the NIL game away from the university rev share has got to be adding up to, all told, all things that you could pay out, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, where are we going here? If you're going to sign that good of a class, I know they have personal relationships with some of these prospects, so maybe that gives you some kind of discount. But I don't think you're bringing in all this talent and also bringing in transfers for just $3 or $4 million if that's your total budget. You probably are doing a little bit better than that.
He's doing a very good job of reaching out to very powerful people. His staff has great connections. Luke opened it up on Saturday. I was there, brought Bryce with me, had a chance to watch practice on Saturday before our game against Bama. Now, obviously, that was a big game. So you were going to invite the biggest name recruits into town to watch that practice, to be a part of that, and then to walk on over and watch the football game. Those recruits that were here for basketball were very excited about watching Florida State football host Alabama. And Luke and his staff certainly understand that. I did get a chance, and I won't elaborate too much because we're going to get back to the football and the picks and all the stuff. But I do want to keep you abreast of this. I continue to be very impressed with the efforts and the organization that is now very obvious to me a part of what Luke was bringing to the table. NBA connections, reaching out, understanding the need to be active in the community, but also bringing in people who have the power to do something about it and change the perception of a program and bring in quality talent. I don't want to sound like a giddy fan here, but Tom, when I was at that practice, you have rows of chairs. That's all I'm going to tell you. You have rows of chairs courtside. Okay, this is the practice situation. 4 to 5 rows deep. Players, money people. Coach Ham was there courtside, shaking hands, kissing babies, acting as an ambassador to Luke Laux and this Florida State basketball program. Lots of very important people going over to shake Coach Ham's hand as he talk about and extol the virtues of what Luke is putting in place. Lots of very wealthy individuals, some the which to shake a hand, you say, wow, I just shook hands with a billionaire. That's interesting. And it doesn't make them better people. It does make them rich. and to know that some of that money is being asked for directly. Now, you remember many years ago, you and I learning as we had to sell for the Jeff Cameron Show and be part of the radio station sales department, that getting to know the right people and asking for the money if they believe in the product is very important. It's a skill over time. You can do it respectfully. You can deliver on your promises, but they can help you if they're impressed with what they're investing in and what they're seeing, in our case, what they're listening to. And ain't nobody over there afraid to ask for the money, Tom. Let me just put it that way. It's very apparent to me that from the top down, ain't nobody over there afraid to ask for the money right now. And now, listen, this season for them may end up being an average, slightly above average season at best. I don't want to sell them short because they'll push back on that a little bit. I brought it up while I was at the practice with somebody, and they're like, well, we'll see. Stylistically, they're going to play a fun game. They got some dudes that can shoot the lights out. So on the days where that's falling, you might pull some upsets here this year, and they're going to play fast. They're going to play very fast. And they're athletic. May not be big enough in the middle. But the point would be you're getting through this year, and you're getting to that 26 class, and I'm telling you, that thing may end up being a top 10 class. And you know and I know that if they sign that, basketball is one of those sports. If you have 2 truly special players, transcendent NBA types, you can compete with almost anybody at that point, and they're going for it.
Well, it'd be nice to have something in November where, a Friday night you're playing a basketball game, a Saturday you're playing a football game, and both of them are sold out. There have been moments.
It has happened.
Fleeting moments. You experienced some of those in your undergrad days.
Oh, well, those were amazing days. They were always that way, yes.
Around 2012 was a pretty good time here on campus. Obviously that was a 1.0 Junkyard Dog ACC tournament championship time for Florida State, and Jimbo had it building in the right direction. But I think these moments have been fleeting where both succeed at the same time. So it would be nice to see, but it's certainly what I do know is that Alabama result didn't just help football. And that's the great thing about that result, because it helps Luke Lauk's cause too. He took those kids to the game, and bam, you get that atmosphere, and they understand what campus life is going to be about, and they're more likely to say yes.
Helps golf, helps baseball, helps basketball. Listen, people understand this. They don't always think about it because they're hyper-focused on, as we all are, the football. Trust me that from the business standpoint and also from the growth and success and the possibility of such for all of the other programs, the coaches, their assistants, and to some degree, many of the veteran players all understand that it is vitally important Florida State football be what it should be. At the very least, minimally, competing for this conference's championship on an annual basis. It changes what's possible. The money that flows in when you have a successful football program at a football school, and this is a football school, just as Carolina is not a football school. Carolina is a basketball school. That was resoundingly on display and obvious as we watched them get beat 48-14 the other night, despite having all of the former greats in Carolina lore there in attendance. You've always been an also-ran. You'll forever be an also-ran. You're bums when it comes to football. But we're not. We're dominant. We would be made fun of, understandably, by that same Carolina crowd for our basketball program. Now, I'd rather be good at football since it makes us more money and it's the driver of the bus. That said, I'd also like to close the gap, just as they would, on the opposite side of the spectrum.
I mean, they would kill to have their football results match our basketball results the last 15 years.
Sure.
I would point that out.
Yeah.
And we didn't create courses out of thin air in that time. I would also point that out.
I agree with you. Just pointing out the relationship there.
Yeah, just saying we have more comprehensive excellence than that program that everybody holds on high. There's that facade, and that facade is a strong one because, it's made of good material. But behind it, you know what? I'd talk about women's soccer and baseball before I talk about their football program, and for good reason.
Yeah. So Florida State continues to get the good news over and over and over again. And this time it's Colin Paul, and Florida State gets a yes, and they continue to go after some of the bigger names of the sport. You remember when I talked about Marcus Ponder, who is the center that committed already verbally to Florida State. He was in attendance at the practice I was at, and that is a massive humanity. That is a man that, sweet Jesus, man, God help you if you have a crossword with him and there's a reason for him to get up. He's massive. This is not a skinny, slight Sean Bradley, for those of you who remember 7-footers. This is a monster of a man.
Well, we've had about 6 of those in the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's a thing of beauty to watch that guy at 7 foot plus 288 pounds and can move. Yeah, it's problematic. All right.
Their measurements like 3250.
So we have the wagers. Welcome to the fold, NFL football. Tonight, Cowboys, Eagles. Way too many, might I add. Way too many division games, divisional matchups in week 1. I don't like the way they do it. We don't need this many divisional matchups in week 1. It's too many.
Yeah, I tend to agree because they stuff them in late December, early January. So what, are you going to go 3 months without playing each other?
Yeah.
You need check-ins with your division opponents.
Little
staggered throughout the
check-ins,
season.
I agree with you.
Now, the one thing I have to say is because you sent me so many wagers.
I did. You didn't get them up and ready to go?
No, they're ready.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But they're
right.
split into 2. There's a college page and then an NFL plus the bonus page.
Well, the bonus page is important because that's a little pizza money parlay, which I know you smiled at.
I did.
Well, pizza. I even gave you.
And you'll see how much I appreciated it.
Okay, good. So we're going to do it when we come back. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Hey, Noel fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
Here's the cold, hard truth. Your body needs more than you're giving it to stay healthy. And now it's easier than ever with Vigor, the all-new cold plunge tub from Hot Spring Spas. Available only at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Cold plunges reduce muscle soreness, boost mood, improve sleep, and so much more. It's not just a trend, it's science-backed wellness. And now you can have it in your own home. Ready to feel alive again? Pinch a Penny has the exclusive home use solution. Visit us on Capitol Circle Northeast and take the plunge.
That chip turned into a crack? No worries. Better call Seminole. We'll fix your glass faster than you can say road trip.
Road trip!
Mobile service, expert installs, and no headaches. Call 850-539-4527, 850-539-4527, or go to SeminoleAutoglass.com. Your glass, your rules. But seriously, better call Seminole.
Seminole Auto Glass. Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, got to get eyes on those shimmery new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
You start with us, Gremlins. Real quick, let's get to some chats before I give you the bets. Here we go. All winnings from bets this weekend are going to Ethan Pritchard. Pocketed 600 last week. Let's go, Jeff. Give me something good. Oh, there's too much pressure on me. Noel Sage, I mean, I will hope to be as successful as I was last week, where I went 7-3 in the 10 games, 3-0 the week before.
That's the standard. You can't be a victim of your own success.
Well,
you need
no,
to win
but
7 out of 10 every week.
Yeah, the problem is he's relying on me to make the money so that we can give to a worthy and great cause. But that's a separate deal altogether.
70% minimum every week.
Marco Santos says, do you think OCs are more reluctant to give up play calling duties when they become a head coach compared to DCs? Also, did you get a chance to review the punt? I didn't go back and look at the punt because it ended up being inconsequential and the indecisiveness remains. I will go back and look at it. However, I don't think that the angle gives us the definitive angle we need to have overturned that situation.
Totally fair to look at that and say, hey, that might have hit the kid's leg.
Right.
Totally
I did
fair.
say might have hit. Right.
But to your point,
they weren't going to overturn.
But it doesn't matter. Don't stand in the middle of nowhere. You make a decision.
The indecisiveness
make a decision
is the problem. Right. Fly up, catch the ball, get out of the way. One or the other. Thanks for the contribution, Marco Santos. Appreciate that very much. Brock says 2 things. I think there is money to be made in the Missouri-Kansas game. Also, we'll see how much Cam Davis wants to be here these 2 games. Listen, the Missouri-Kansas game is of great interest. I have said before that Kansas program fascinates me for a lot of reasons, namely their head coach, who's very, very good. And also, that was a weird year last year, a hiccup year for Kansas because of all the things that were going on with their stadium. So we're on the same page. We're on the same page about this game and how interested I am in it. The second part, by the way, I didn't get back to before. Thanks, Troy. Marcus says, do you think OCs are more reluctant to give up play calling duties than when they become a head coach compared to DCs? You know, this would be anecdotal on my part. I'd be playing a hunch, but it feels like it. It seems like it to me. And I'm not sure why, because I never called plays at a level like Florida State, or certainly not, obviously, in the NFL. But when I coached the mighty Timberlane Raiders, I called all the offensive plays and the defensive plays. And I wouldn't have let anybody else do it to save my life. You spend a lot of time installing that stuff and practicing that stuff, and a lot of it was sort of derivative of my high school playbook that I got from my high school coach, who I called when I started coaching with the 12 and 13-year-olds, and was like, Coach, send me the playbook. I can't remember everything, and he did, and then I took that and extrapolated certain other things that I liked, concepts that I liked from other offenses and defenses, and spent all the time to install and teach it. And that's hours that you're with those, and you're like, man, I got this. You know, like, it's hard to give that up. That's why I gave a lot of credit to Mike and anybody else who gives up their baby, because you made your bones on that. That's how you get to become a head coach, is that you did something exceptionally well. Either you were an elite offensive play caller, which moved up the ladder rather quickly and thus got recognized for your prowess and your consistency, or you did it on the defensive side of the ball, same, where somebody went, that's some bitch right there, can coach and teach and implement. And those are all very difficult things. You can know a lot of things, but to teach something, you have to not only have such a thorough and complete grasp of the concepts that you're speaking about, but you have to be able to convey and teach it. And in college, you have to be able to convey and teach it in a very timely fashion. This is not the NFL, where they are, it's getting to be, but where they are employees who can be there all damn day, where I walk into the meeting room at 7 a.m. and I may be still with you teaching something about this Sunday's game at 6 p.m. And you're expected to go home that evening as you eat dinner and look at your tablet and figure out what you don't know and come back tomorrow and prove to me that you do. Famously, Belichick wouldn't let guys play until they passed tests that week for whatever the game plan was. Do you understand it? I won't put you on the field if you don't. There has to be a minimal grade and grasp of what we're doing, or somebody else will play. Here's the test on a Friday. The game is on a Sunday. That's how thorough coordinators and coaches are with their players. So I think it's really difficult to give it up, and I give a lot of credit to Mike. Now, the counter to my praise for Mike here is that, well, he failed so spectacularly last year, he kind of had to. It's still hard to do. A lot of guys will work in half measures. They'll say, all right, well, I'm not going to give up play calling, Jimbo, but I will make some hires, some lipstick on a pig hires. I'll bring in a name that satiates the media and the fan base. You do recall Texas A&M, the last stages of Jimbo's time there, exactly who came in. He of the neck brace family. And
I always thought that was a booster or an athletic director hire, but it might have been Jimbo.
My point of it is that they were trying to get him to relinquish play calling duties. It's his program, and he acquiesces to bring in that guy of all people, a high-profile name. What are you doing in that moment? You're inviting those questions. He got peppered with them. You could tell he had great disdain for every one of them, loathed it. How many times have we saw it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and a certain coach who said they're going to run the Buccaneers offense?
Yeah.
This is how it works, man. It's difficult to give that up.
I believe that was Todd Monken, who has been unbelievably successful everywhere
he's ever been.
Wish we could have just elevated him to head coach then and there.
But you remember it.
Yeah.
That was the response.
Great day in New Orleans. Well, so you got to be so happy for Todd today. Well, he ran the Buccaneers offense.
Correct. See, that's what I mean.
You can't say you're happy for your assistant.
That's what I mean.
You're a kingmaker now.
Yes.
Dirk, you're a kingmaker.
Dirk didn't get that it looked good,
but it's my crown.
Right.
Okay.
So it's difficult. And to answer the question, I don't know, Marcos. I don't know the answer to that, but I would lean towards OCs. I think OCs struggle with it more than DCs. But I think that, and this is a fun topic to me because the game has changed so much. And this is where being on the air for almost 30 years and covering this program and the sport in general has allowed me to kind of change my point of view on this and also learn from the changing, tides of the game and seeing the different tasks and the money and everything that's become part of the sport, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I used to be dead set against the idea of a head coach who didn't call plays one way or the other. He wasn't an OC or a DC. He's just a guy that is shaking hands and kissing babies, raising money for the sport, and running around and telling everybody to try harder. I hated that idea. And then I realized that it's much more complicated than that. There's a lot more to it than that. And they can be good or bad in a CEO role, that there is nuance to this. And putting together a proper staff and understanding where you can weigh in and how you can aid and help out those that are tasked with the weekly game plans. And you're still part of those game plans. You still have the right to veto something that you don't like in the game plan, but you have to have really honest dialogue, honest meetings. You have to be able to listen carefully, put your own ego away, and say yay or nay based on the big picture of what you're trying to get accomplished and what those folks' acumen is and their prowess in doing so. It gets easier and easier the more you do it. If I hand over something that I've always been in control of to somebody else, I have to trust them implicitly. I have to know that they have obviously the players and the team and the program in the big picture's best interest. And I've got to be able to say, all right, walk away until there's a need for you to come in here and say, we're not doing that, or I'm tired of this. You have to be able to do it, right? The time they're going to need you on game day is when maybe you want to slow the pace down or speed up. Maybe you need to see a little bit more of a certain look from a personnel standpoint that you feel like could exploit something that a defense is doing. But really, it's going to be the big fourth down decisions like we just had on Saturday, where Mike has to make an executive decision. That ultimately will always come down to the head coach. That is not coming down to Herb Hand. It's not coming down to Gus Malzahn.
That'd be something.
But what I'm saying is, it's not coming down to anybody else who might have a feel for, hey, we need a yard. How's the line? You feeling good about the line? It's not that. It's I'll tell you whether or not we are going.
Well, he teased something earlier in the week that obviously one of his most important functions will be communicating to Gus when he has more than just one play to get it on a third down.
That's correct. And you got to be quick.
My guess is on that third down when Tommy might have actually made the line to gain.
May have.
That call was made with Tommy and the jet to the right with the knowledge that as long as you gain some type of yardage from where you are and the line to gain, you have a shot to go for two. Because that play Could get stopped for half the yardage necessary. I think it was 3rd and 4. It might have been 3rd and 3, a long 3.
3rd and 4-ish.
Yeah. My guess is Mike might have said to him, inside his own 40-yard line, 2 to get it, buddy. You got 2.
To me, it's really, I'm not trying to discredit anybody here. It just wasn't a hard call. I know people will say, are you crazy? No, man. You're still playing with house money. You still have the lead. You've still had a defense that rose up time and again if things didn't go well. It doesn't mean you're destined to lose the game, or it doesn't mean that you're destined to give up a touchdown if they inherit the ball on the 34 or 30, wherever it was. I mean, like, it doesn't mean that you're going to give up points there. Maybe you'll give a field goal, but you're not. It's not guaranteed, because that's the faith they had in those players who were executing on that day and playing that fast and that hard. And I feel like because you controlled the line of scrimmage, to me, it's about as easy of a stressful situation as you could be in.
Well, the math that they're doing, too, is with Tommy's legs, 3rd and 1 out of the gun, which I don't love that play.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to call it, but here's why I'll argue against myself. If you're going to call it, you do it with a quarterback who's that fast.
Yeah. Because
it's not the same thing as a run straight up the middle.
Right.
When you have Castellanos that you have to worry about. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's not a classic I formation 2-back set into the belly.
Well, and it's also not a shotgun run with Tom Brady, a quarterback who can't move, Right.
He would take issue with you. He'd send you a video of him on a treadmill running 18 miles per hour.
I'd like to look at who the quarterback celebrated with. Do you? Okay, man, whatever. But, no, what they would have done is they would have quarterback sneak the ball because he's the best there ever was.
He's really good at it, yeah.
But, yeah, the point being that if you're going to call something out of the gun and hand it off and turn your body, it would be because 2 things. 1, you are winning up front, and 2, they're scared to death of his legs at quarterback.
I can't wait any longer. But we will have to, because we got carried away on a subject that I love.
Double T's on coordinators.
I love that question, and I like to expound on that because I think about it a lot, and it's changed. Probably it's one of the things that's changed the most in the game in the years that I've been on the air. It changed a lot. I used to love the up-and-coming coordinators that became head coaches who still had full command of everything to do with their side of the ball in which they were an expert.
Well, the Sterling gear that you're rocking today for the audio audience, it's creamsicle Buccaneers colors.
Well, did we get asked a question?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's related to this. We have one of those few teams with a head coach who calls the defensive plays. It's a rarer bird than the offensive head coach who calls the offensive plays. We got a defensive coordinator / head coach and in reverse order.
Yeah, so this being the start of the NFL season, I figured I'd rock with the throwback creamsicle, and this is a gorgeous throwback polo. It just is. I can only imagine the amount of people who gasped when the camera panned to me as we started the show and said, look at how beautiful.
Stop wearing orange.
It's creamsicle for the Bucks. You can't beat it. All right, the wagers are coming out here. Jeff Cameron, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A 4th candidate has entered the ring for but stable condition in the intensive care unit at a local hospital after being shot while visiting family in Havana. The investigation is open and active. This is Rachel Anaya with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Partly cloudy this afternoon with highs around 92. East winds around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear tonight, 69. Bright sunshine expected tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 94. Temps above average Saturday and Sunday with highs in the mid-90s. Slight chance of thunderstorms Sunday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 86 degrees.
It's not just a drink, it's a vibe. Cool off all summer long with bold and beautiful cocktails from Café de Martín. Try the stunning berry champagne with flowers on top, a refreshing pineapple coconut margarita, and the all-new tamarindo sour, or our spicy cantarito. Available Tuesday through Friday for just $12.50. Take a trip to Peru this summer at Café de Martín in the Esposito Shopping Center. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood. Oh, good days. So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played. Kind of like the bikes we built. Correct, yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played. But and they still try to break the rules, right? Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life. And the best game you ever played was that game. Never been a better one. Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff? I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
No more pussyfooting. Let's get straight to it. Half stepping is over.
It's the college page.
We've got the separate pages. I was so prolific today. Sure, it's the college page. We'll begin with our college Redemption Thursday wagers. Now, I'm going to begin to vary these and get some of these to be a little bit more nuanced, meaning I'm going to take some games in which I'll take a player prop or a half or things of that ilk. But for now, it's early in the year, and we ease into that kind of diversity of wager. Instead, just kind of take a look at numbers as well as totals. You'll note this week, Tom, what stood out to you besides, obviously, you see that's on Jeff's real ledger, although I think you could see on most of these, they all are. Because I see the McConaughey.
Yeah, there's a couple
smoke GIF there. But
yeah.
I would say you'll notice that I am heavy on underdogs this week. Feeling good about some underdogs this week. I took Iowa plus 3.5 against Iowa State. Was
Cyhawk game.
Was tempted to take them straight up. May have in another form. Baylor money line over SMU, sir. Fraudulent ass SMU.
All right.
You felt that.
I feel that bet. I like that bet.
West Virginia minus 3.5 against Ohio. I thought when I saw it, what gives? Ohio ought not be competitive against West Virginia, friends. It's a very low number. BC might be just better than Michigan State. Michigan State, tough times for the Spartans. And I like Michigan State. You know I do. I rather like Michigan State, but I cannot, not in good faith, go forward with a Michigan State wager this week. Give me BC plus 4.5. Hang on, BC. The men of Boston College need to rise up and let that be a 17-14 loss if they have to fall. I think Vandy's going to go in and beat Virginia Tech. I don't think they care for Metallica. They're going to show, they're going to be buttoned up, and they're going to beat Virginia Tech. UCLA and UNLV over seems right to me. Both don't defend all that well. It's only 55. I lost the UNLV over bet last week.
All right. So
I'll go back to the well with it one more time. Over 55 there. I like Tulsa to boat race New Mexico State. It's a quality Tulsa club, Tom. You two will jump on board soon.
Yeah, I will.
The number's just too big. Louisiana Tech, Louisiana Pride, getting 37.5. Kelly off a big game. Lethargy. in the second half leads to a backdoor cover for Louisiana Tech.
My family.
And San Diego State will just go beat Washington State. You know, it makes me sad what happened to the Pac-2, but Oregon State sucks this year too. It has lost a cow in their backyard. Cal rolled in, had to replace 75 players and said, yep, we're not doing this. We're going to beat you, and did. Give me San Diego State to beat Washington State. There you go. That's the first of them. That's just a little taste. Oh, you're interested in the product. We come into the week at 10-3. Take this home with you tonight and see how it goes. Get back to me if you're interested in more. All right, you're interested in more. Let's see it. NFL, look at this. I like that you gave me the giant McConaughey on the pizza money parlay.
He's looking at the pizza.
And the parlay.
And the parlay.
Pay me, Martha. Panthers, Jags over 46.5. Eagles laying at 8.5 tonight against the Cowboys. Bucks, Falcons over 46.5. Chiefs, Chargers under 46.5. 46.5, the key number this week in the National Football League, according to Vegas.
That is something.
2 overs on that, 46.5 and an under. And an outright spread, Eagles, minus 8.5. You like that? See your boy working over here?
Phrasing.
I purposely phrased it that way. The pizza money parlay, 15 to win, 359.19. It's truly a pizza money parlay. $15 for about a pizza. For a pizza, about $15, right?
These days,
18, maybe 18.
That's maybe a medium. You know, it's a 12 to 14-inch pizza.
A little $15 to win, $359.19 at plus $22.95. Let's go. Iowa plus 3.5, Baylor plus 2.5, Kent State plus 47.5, Boston College plus 4.5, Tulsa minus 2.5, and the alarm sounds for all the glory. Have fun with it, kids. Don't bet money you don't have, and don't blame me if we lose it all.
Put 200 on that parlay.
Your mortgage. Get rich. You're welcome. Just buy me a cold one afterwards. No, I don't want you to do what you can't do. Just Big Daddy J over here, just having a little fun out in the game of football. It's football season. It's a lot of fun. Go easy. Florida Man and Bama now, at the end of last year, you saw Carolina become a bit of a thorn in the side, throwing it around the lot a little bit. Remember, Jags, new coach, Bucks OC from a year ago, and a prolific OC at that. They're not devoid of talent in key positions. I love Brian Thomas Jr., for example. Took him last year and really had a field day. You could have got him for next to nothing when the drafts of the fantasy football world started, and you would have been very happy that you did. Climbed up the chart this year. I'm not in love with the running backs. How did ATM just fall off a cliff? Just stop being any good at all.
He shut down on the mediocrity. Now you'll see.
I guess. I like their third string running back, who I think and might absolutely quickly jump back in to the fold here, and we'll go that route when the time comes. We'll see. But there's enough here, and also, what's her face? The quarterback's got to start looking better. He's got to start slinging the rock. I'm tired of it. Come on, Trevor. Get it together. Start the promise. The promise.
He's got the Larry Bird thing going, like the Romanian grandmother.
It's just hideous. I mean, how long are you going to wear a hairstyle? Let's go. I don't care if you grow your hair. I'm not that guy, but just this stringy, straight ass long. Do something with it.
Come with me, babushka.
Josh says, I haven't seen anybody comment on this, but why don't we let the Warchant play longer before the team comes out? They came out of the tunnel as soon as the trumpet started. Well, Tom pointed this out. He thought the timing got all discombobulated because of the prattling on that Bert Kreischer did.
Yeah.
And but I also just think it was a weird situation between the Kreischer pregame speech. Also, the networks delayed this thing by a good 25 minutes for I don't know why.
They did because they knew that the previous window was going to run long and they didn't want to move networks. Currently on ESPN News, I think they still had to move the game anyway as it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, if you want a hype man to work the mic, it did its job.
Yeah,
people were fired up.
It's what it was. Yeah, it's what it was.
In the third verse, you're like, all right, man. You're hitting the wrap it up button from Chappelle. You're like, come on now.
Yeah.
Take your shirt off, wave it around. Let's go. Let's move it along. Here. I've been here forever. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. But that's why. Because once he was done, on the clock, it was inside of 2.5 minutes before they needed to kick off. So it's like, boom, 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 boom. They gotta go.
We gotta go. Yeah.
The number one tradition in all of college, like as he's saying, the number one. They're already running out of the tunnel.
Yeah. It was a little discombobulated.
That's okay. We were all enthusiastic, and then when the anthem happened, there, I think they were a little behind on that in that regard too, because the choppers were a little bit late. Because they had to slow down and play the anthem extremely slow.
Well, they weren't speedy choppers.
In order to wait for the choppers. Well, it's supposed to sync up, and the band is on the time.
It's tough.
Yeah.
By the way, somebody just texted me over here, and you gave me a look, so I'll just tell you. Bashal Tutin is the third string running back in Jacksonville.
Oh, it's my guy.
That's my guy, Tom.
Hey.
That's my guy.
Hey.
I drafted Tutin.
Oh, you drafted him.
I drafted Tutin late, and I also like Tutin.
That's fine. Who doesn't like Tutin? Especially after some fiber.
I like
But
Tutin.
that's where this year, anytime we talked about Virginia Tech, I'm like, man, I'm suspect on them. I think that was Tutin more than it was Kyron Drones.
Round 4, Tutin, all 5'9", 210.
Yeah.
Little bowling ball Tutin.
Who can go?
Well,
who can go?
Between Tank Bigsby's sorry ass and Travis Etienne, let's go. It's Tutin's time in Jacksonville.
Also, what a great name. Tank Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby's a great name, but he doesn't play like Tank. You're not like, oh, good old Tank Bigsby out here running people over. You're like, Tank's all right.
Tank should be the 6 foot, and I mean 6 foot, no taller guard who's 330. 6 feet tall, 330 pounds. Tank Bigsby.
Tank's 5'11", 215, so he's not easy to bring down, but he's not the Tank that his name suggests he should be.
235 at 5'11".
Yeah. That kind of a bowling ball that, man, don't want to get involved in an Oklahoma drill. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Listen, he's only been there a few years, so it's not like I've given up on him completely, but I've kind of moved on. It's time for Tutin in Jayville. I hope the Butts recognize what we all know.
It's Tutin time.
The Butts have to recognize Tutin. That's what they have to recognize. Elevate the man. The two were made to dance. Always have been. We'll see if they do. I took a flyer on him. Lady was just sitting there. I'm like, they may give up on these two bums in front of Tutin.
Yeah, well, hey, Bucky Irving was
a
nothing
stud,
until he was something.
Yeah.
But Liam Cohen was the coordinator for that particular transition of power. So here it is. Perhaps he runs it back, and you get to see a feature on NFL Countdown in November. Like, well, he's done it again 2 years in a row. Bucky Irving and now Tutin.
I hope that happens, and that'd be good news for Jags fans. The only other running back that I shouldn't say the only one. One of the other running backs that I'm extremely interested in, and to see how he, impacts what they're trying to do from a physicality standpoint. TreVeyon Henderson in New England.
Drafted him. Yes, sir.
Good long look at TreVeyon Henderson in New England because of who the coach is and what they want to be and where they are. It's a whole lot of cold, run it. You know where I'm going. Get you some. Let Drake throw off a play action. That's the route, New England.
Yeah, that's also a good name for the style of runner that he is. TreVeyon, all those syllables to me means that you got to bring it. If he was Trey Henderson is a speed scat back. But TreVeyon Henderson, oh no, that's a problem.
He's bringing the load, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's got the thickness.
Yeah,
he's a tough guy to bring down. I want to see how healthy he is. While we're on the subject of running back, see, the NFL is just dancing around our heads right now. But Nick Chubb being signed with the Texans to go with a defense that will be very good this year, stout defense in Houston this year. And Mixon's been hurt, And I think you bring in Chubb, and there's a guy that, if he's right, is a huge difference maker. I just don't know what's left in the tank with him. Got him really late too, but I always like Nick Chubb. Always like Nick Chubb. He's just had some devastating injury luck. I hate that for him, but he runs like a grown-ass man every time. And there's your 5'11", 230. Difficult to bring down. And it's, what was he, 2018? So he might have a little something left in the tank.
There could be. All the Hall of Famers do have that one extra push. Now, injuries obviously being what they are, but you could see that. A contending team play a lot of 24 to 17 games, and there he is. Maybe not the greatest fantasy option, but definitely a player when you're looking at and you're assessing the viability of a playoff candidate. You're like, well, they do know what they're doing inside the 5-yard line, and Nick Chubb can still break one off for 25 if you're not careful.
Yeah, and this is a guy, by the way, did you know he has over 1,000 yards receiving in his career? That's interesting. I don't think a lot of people realize that. I mean, he averages 8.1 yards per reception. I mean, they don't throw him a ton, but when he can do it. It's an interesting guy.
All right, player props for Nick Chubb.
Well, there'll be some here soon. Plus, I'm rooting for him to get healthy. I don't care anything about the Texans. I just like that guy. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Barano Heating and Air Conditioning.
J.D. Power recently named Nissan #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands, with Nissan Murano and Kicks tops in the SUV categories, and both Sentra and Altima winners amongst sedans. For true quality and reliability, look no further than Kraft Nissan.
For most families, your home is your biggest investment. That's why Joel Higgins built ACL Home Inspections, providing you thorough, precise, and efficient information with same-day, easy-to-read digital reports.
Probably one of the most common things that we find is a water heater drain line. It's meant to be plumbed a certain way, and a lot of the times in a retrofit situation where they replace the water heater is a different size. Lots of times they'll say, I had no idea, and it's the home that they live in, and they walk past these things every day. They're not even aware that it's a danger, much less that it's even there.
Protect your family's biggest investment. Call ACL.
Having your HVAC system operating properly is probably the biggest thing for high temperature events. So I always recommend a service agreement with a local HVAC company that will come twice a year and clean and service your HVAC system. And they can spot problems.
Call today, 850-312-8919.
Injured? Call Fasig Brooks and come back stronger. Offices, Tallahassee.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel-tip boards and soft-tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee. Your sports flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Florida State football senior quarterback Tommy Castellanos is the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback of the Week, and center Luke Pettibon is the Outland Trophy National Player of the Week, as Florida State is coming off an impressive performance against then number 8 Alabama, winning by a 31-7 score. Also, Florida football coach Mike Norvell. He is the first Paul Bear Bryant Coach of the Week, and also the Dodd Trophy Coach of the Week award goes to him as well. Florida State back at it when they match up against East Texas A&M coming up on Saturday. Also on Saturday, Florida is going to host South Florida, Central Florida against North Carolina A&T, Miami against Bethune-Cookman. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
This weekend, Kohl's is giving away millions in Kohl's Cash in store. It's like you're getting free shopping money. At least that's what I tell my husband. Yep, you're just making smart financial decisions, one trendy sweater at a time. Plus, all month, enter our online sweepstakes at Kohl's.com for a chance to win $200 Kohl's Cash. Some exclusions apply while supplies last. Giveaway ends September 7th. Sweepstakes ends September 30th, 2025. No purchase necessary. 20 winners per day. Limit one prize per person for entire sweepstakes. See Kohl's.com for official rules and details.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Tired of spending money on bug spray and inhaling all those fumes every time you want to go outside? Treat your yard so you can stop spraying your kids.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control has a solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program which seeks the grounds, flower bed, and shrubs. Paul's controls pesky mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. Not only are mosquitoes a physical irritation, they also pose a potential health risk to people and pets. With Paul's targeted techniques, you can rest assured that your yard will be protected and your afternoons will stay fun.
Take back your yard. Don't let mosquitoes interrupt the fun. For more information, go to callpauls.com. For the elimination of termites or any other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Pauls. We'll get them all.
Pauls can help eliminate fire ants from your lawn, too. We'll help you take your yard back.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon there is one every few weeks. That's why the 7th Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, 7th Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
again, because they're fun to look at. The Pay Me Martha is fun. Makes me smile. Hopefully we're getting a head start on a season that could be truly special, both in real life and, with the bookies, on the books. We both have a mutual friend who has dabbled in that profession, if you want to call it that. And I think based on the way Hard Rock bends everybody over, we need to facilitate his return to the business. Too many opportunities slipping through the cracks, Tom.
Slipping Jimmy.
We don't have, nice reference, we just don't have the access to the things we need. It reminds me of Sean McGuire needs our help.
Oh, wow. 10 years ago this fall.
Was it 10 years ago?
No, 11.
11
years ago this fall.
Sean McGuire needs our help.
And Sean McGuire's on Social Security.
And it worked.
It did.
And
oh, my God.
Worked.
We got the ball back.
Unbelievable, that moment. But yeah, we got to get to the getting here, because Hard Rock is they're looking to branch out. They need a brand ambassador, somebody not named Post Malone, and have me do this thing. And then their whole shtick shouldn't be like, hey, if you don't know anything about gambling, don't worry about it. Waste your money and just pick a side. That's their campaign. That's ridiculous and irresponsible. And I'm not one to tisk all that often, but don't do that. Get your boy over here talking about it. There's plenty of space here on the radio and on the YouTube for them to have their logo plastered everywhere and to talk responsibly about the possibilities and the many offerings that they're not putting forth currently for responsible bettors.
These are the fairest odds in the world right here.
Not at all. Just saying crazy things on the regular. And I don't want to bash. It's a little early. But damn it, man, it does bother me. Crazy to think how long I've been listening to this show, at least since 2010. First name John, I got to tell you, I've run into people. I've run into people that have been listening since 98, 99. And it is crazy because I'll run into them and they'll say, hey, Jeff, we met way back in 04 or 05 or something. Good to see you again. I'll say, good to see you. Thanks for listening and all that. They're like, yeah, I used to listen to you when I took my kids to first grade. And then they'll turn around and say they graduated college a while back. They now live in Phoenix. They work for a corporation and they're doing well. And, every now and then my son will call and ask how the show's going. I'm like, what are you talking about? What you talking about, Mary Beth? It just drives me nuts to think about it.
Wonder if I still have that one.
No, that's somewhere around here. Yeah, it's somewhere around here. Trey, I'll get to your question in a second because it's rich, not from you, but from him. Makes me laugh. Yes, it's true. Yeah, you got it?
So what are you talking about, Mary Beth? Don't go playing jokes.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, indeed. Miss those press conferences. Miss those moments.
So what are you talking about, Mary Beth? Don't go playing jokes.
Did you see this story? This made me laugh. This is on the heels of people very, very attuned to NIL budgets. People who look very closely at whether or not their team, and we're of those people, that ilk as well, that look very, very closely to see whether or not the NIL is where it needs to be and allows you to compete. Thankfully, the Battle's in is. But could use your help. Could use your help. But after 1 week, there's already discussions for some schools, including there at Alabama, which that, too, is rich. I'll get to it momentarily, but I couldn't help but laugh when I saw this headline. Oklahoma State football player arrested for stealing at Walmart. I'll read. Oklahoma State linebacker Wendell Gregory arrested Saturday evening in Payne County on 4 counts of larceny of merchandise. Gregory, 19, booked into Payne County at 6:55. That'd be the jail. August 30th, released on bond the following day. The charges stem from allegations he stole a total of $211 worth of merchandise from a Stillwater Walmart. Well, I bet you it's something to be standing around a Stillwater Walmart, buddy. That's a little bit like being on the outskirts of Virginia at a Walmart.
Feels like kind of a fun Thursday.
Get to your car as quickly as possible.
Bring a flask and just sit down and see what's going on by the folding lawn chairs.
My man did it over the course of a week. This ain't about the money. I'm addicted to the game. I need that juice that only stealing from a Walmart can give me. But Wendell, you're being paid $60,000 this year to play football at Oklahoma State, and we're in Stillwater. You can easily afford the $200 worth of merchandise you just kleptoed. What are you doing? I'm addicted to the game.
I really wanted those Jeff Foxworthy jeans.
I need the juice, man.
They're very comfortable around the waist.
Then pay for them. No, man, it's too easy. It's just too easy. He transferred into Oklahoma State from South Carolina, made an immediate impact, had 3 sacks and a win over UT Martin, and then dreamt of stealing from Walmart, I assure you. This sack feels a lot like when I stick a $7 watch in my pocket from Walmart. Make it out to the car and say, look at that, Jimmy. I did it again.
It's a fossil.
No, it's not. They're more than $7. They're not.
Oh, no, it's with one S.
Yeah, that's right.
Fossil.
Oh, fossil. Did you get you one of them fossils? Did you take the $12 sunglasses next to him? Anyhow, so Oklahoma State fans have said, yeah, man, what are we doing out here? Are we not giving our guys enough? Why are they stealing from Walmart? Did you get a frozen food item in there as well?
I don't care that the Mama Celeste were 4 for 4. I'm taking those Mama Celestes.
Back to Alabama, A.J. McCarron, long history of saying interesting things. Quote, you look at these other teams that have 40 to 50 million in NIL. Alabama, and I know this for a fact, talking to multiple people in the program, Alabama has far less than 20 million in their NIL. Chris Vanini saw the quote, tweeted it, and noted that Alabama is number 2 in the 247's team talent rankings, tied for the most 5-star players on their roster. Bet they didn't come for free. Bet they cost a pretty penny. Bet it all adds up to a little bit more than $20 million in NIL at Alabama. But it's the kind of comment and the kind of thing that is fueled after you lose by 2 touchdowns in a game in which you're favored by 2 touchdowns. That's how these conversations get started. The desperate need to explain how it is the beloved Tide could be so outclassed this past Saturday. We'll see. Does it resonate over the course of the rest of the year? Do they go on to have a good season and then look back and say, first game, that Florida State team turned out to be pretty good? Or are they reeling and then they won't just be pointing to what they believe to be a shortage in NIL funds, and it's not. They'll be pointing to a culture issue in the locker room, and it may well be. If you have good players and they don't play well, you got problems that stem from things off the field or coaches that don't connect or both. And unfortunately, I think that rather than me point the finger in that situation, because we know just how difficult things can get, I would tell you that it's not a unique thing in the modern world of college football. The volatility that we're going to see in college football is the new norm. And I think you'll learn when you go through these catastrophic seasons, and I don't know that Alabama's going to have that or not, But I do think you'll see the extreme ups and downs that didn't exist in college football be somewhat of the norm, or certainly more prevalent. And then you'll see how the coaching staffs and the coaches who are allowed to stick around react to it. We're watching firsthand. It's weird. It's like the test cases here in Tallahassee.
I think also if we can remove our own disappointment with last year and utter dismay and depression, probably good for the sport, if that's a reality in the sport.
Well, it's certainly good in the NFL, Tom, because in the NFL, it's to your point that you're about to make and that you're alluding to. In the NFL, 10 of the last 12 years, there have been 5 to 7 new playoff teams from the previous year, over the previous year. 2 of those years, it's 7. 10 of them, it's 5 or more. It's unbelievable to think about that kind of volatility in that sport, but that's a salary cap sport. If you're bad for long, it means your management sucks and you've misevalued in your drafts.
Right. Compare that to college football, where historically, this is through the generations, that before a season kicks off, you've got a half dozen contenders, maybe 1 or 2 dark horse candidates at most, and that's it. And in the last 20 years, it's been largely the same cast of 2 or 3 programs that are there every single year. So if you're thinking about there's 8 spots to be in the conversation, to be one of the other 5 is your best chance. Whereas in the NFL, yeah, your playoff is now, is it 7 aside, I think? 1 bye week. And so so 14 teams, and you're getting 50% turnover twice in that last stretch, 33% turnover, an often amount. In college, it would be nice if you see that type of shuffling where 6 new teams happen 5 times in 15 years. 6 new teams in the college football playoff. That's never happened before.
The sooner the sport continues to arrive at the same place that they're at in the NFL, where you have collective bargaining and there is a salary cap that people can play and have to adhere to, instead of what we see now with the NIL and the money not really being tied to only the 20.5 in revenue share. The sooner you arrive, the sooner that's more likely to be the case. When that happens, you will see what Arizona State did a year ago, and you will see teams that had no business looking at a playoff spot for the better part of the last 50 years all of a sudden become one of those teams that you go, how about that? Michigan State's back in the playoffs, or whatever it might be. Just that's what's going to happen as we get closer and closer to the model that replicates the NFL. Now, there's a danger in that too, because the NFL does it better. And if they don't have all of those agreed upon standards and legally agreed upon standards, then you won't do it as well as the National Football League does it, which is what I warned about. Hey, be careful what you wish for. If we're going down this path, there's a league that has a lot more money than you and already does it better.
Yeah, correct. The good thing is that you at least have your own day of the week that you can dedicate, and people seem to have an appetite across this country to watch both. Of course, the NFL is going to be more watched, but there's still an opportunity here where the public is telling you that if they watch a whole lot of football on Sunday, that won't preclude them from doing so the day before on Saturday. And what'll be interesting is if they do successfully create this idea where 4 to 6 teams will be in the college football playoff that are the usual contenders, but there's enough turnover outside of it. That means that more markets are interested in July and August in the lead up to the season, and more markets are interested in late October and the month of November because they can still get a seat of the dance. This is the deal with the devil that all of these professional leagues have made when they expanded their playoff field.
Sure.
You actually do help the back half of the regular season, but the allure of college football, 1 loss and you're out, I mean, that's just a thing of the past. That's now completely not a thing anymore.
What is fun, and a fun exercise for anybody that loves football, and this being the night that the NFL returns to join the party with college, and we're mostly college guys. We pay close attention to the NFL and love it. I love football, period, and I am actively watching both all the time and care deeply about my beloved Bucks, just as I do my Noles, and really I pay attention to all of it because I like big picture football talk. But honestly, it's a fun exercise to sit around and say, all right, name the 5 new teams that are going to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and I have to retort and say, which league? You're talking NFL, yeah?
Yeah, it's in the NFC and the AFC. 5 new combatants, on average, are going to make the playoffs this year that didn't make it a year ago. That's just what it has been for the better part, more than a decade. That's what it's been. And that's fun. sometimes it's kind of easy. Is there a really good team that was beset by injury a year ago but looks to have everybody back, is, buttoned up and established, ought to be able to return to form to varying degrees and thus make the playoffs? So, for example, a team like that, do you think there's any juice left in San Francisco or not?
Yeah, there could be.
Right.
When you were listing out, not necessarily the beset by injuries part, but I was thinking Cincinnati immediately.
Didn't make it a year ago, barely missed out, loaded on offense.
Nobody wanted to play them if
at
they
the
had
end of the
made it
year
into the field.
Right. Last year, that before the season started, if you just looked at the standings and the teams and the projected records and all of that, which, again, take with a grain of salt in the preseason, it's getting harder and harder to do. The Minnesota Vikings on paper, when you saw their schedule, were going to be favored in like 4 games last year, and they ended up winning 14. It's absurd. But can you properly predict the Washington Commanders of the world? That's where the genius lies, is when do you bet? When do you get out in front of it? Last year, for those that thought Jaden Daniels had a chance to be elite and hit the ground running and would be a candidate at the time that they were first guessing before the season, at the time they said, I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to change who they are. I think the coaching changes and the administrative changes are going to free them up to be good. And I'm picking Washington to make the playoffs. Well, there you go. They didn't just make the playoffs. They won a road playoff game, and now big ol' X marks the spot on their back. Everybody. They're not sneaking up on anybody now.
Yeah, looking at the NFC from last year, Washington and Philadelphia were the East representatives, and then the North sent 3, Green Bay, Minnesota, and Detroit. I think they'll only send 2 this year. And maybe Atlanta is the team that creeps in.
But what about the Bears?
I don't buy it this year.
Still don't buy it.
No.
Ben Johnson?
Not yet. No.
They're an interesting team.
Yeah, it could be that you're coming down to Tampa, Atlanta for the division, plus the wild card berth with the Bears, or if the Giants catch fire, could be.
Giants, a lot of people are looking at that Giants team and thinking, no how, no way. I don't know, man. Quarterback is the whole thing. They have some weapons. They're not terrible.
I would have said Denver, but Denver made the playoffs last year.
They sure as hell did, and they're predicted to do a lot better than that. A lot of people think they'll win the West this year. They'll knock Kansas City out of atop the West. Are the Chargers a playoff team? They were a year ago. Did they get back?
I think that might be that's a candidate. Pittsburgh is certainly a candidate. I know everybody is betting on them. It's an oft-bet ticket with Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know. And I get Mike Tomlin's incredible, consistent track record.
I've got the Steelers going to the playoffs.
I think
they're going.
If their defense is worth a squat, then sure, but that defense.
I think their defense will be good, and I think offensively they're going to be a lot better. It doesn't hurt to give DK Metcalf a chance to make plays with Aaron Rodgers throwing to him if they keep him upright.
So it sounds like a playoff within a playoff is Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh for a spot.
Fun game. We know the Bills will probably be in the playoffs. Anybody else from the awful AFC East where the Jets, the Patriots, and the Dolphins are suspect?
Maybe New England is that team that just plays a bunch of ugly football and they win 9 games,
find a way in.
10-8.
10-7.
10-7. Sorry, I'm giving them the extra game already.
It's just a fun exercise because it's just been true. I mean, and I would tell you that in the South, the Falcons are a team that could, the Bucs are a team that could, and I'm going to go so far as to tell you that I think the Carolina Panthers will be one of the more improved teams this year. Now, they were awful for the better part of the season a year ago. They got to where they were not just competitive, they were downright problem for people late in the year last season.
Could Jacksonville be a threat in the South?
Maybe. Cohen goes in, installs that offense.
Could be. There's potential there.
Travis Hunter. Kind of fun, though, isn't it? Play that game with your friends. Okay, guys, let's put a pool together. You think the Arizona Cardinals are going to the playoffs?
Please, no.
I know you hate him, Tom, but somebody's going besides the Rams in that division.
Are the Rams?
I think the Rams are definitely going, with a healthy Stafford. Yes.
That's the whole thing.
They were very close to knocking off the Eagles, yes.
I know, but you do run the risk of when you have an old man at quarterback that it could all fall to pieces.
And it does if he's down.
Yeah.
But if he's healthy, and he is tough as hell.
He is.
He'll play through it all. That guy's going to be crippled by the time he's 55. I promise you.
I do know that defensive front is a lot of fun to watch.
Nasty. They're kind of a fun team, period. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too. 222-7722. Parker Services. Comfort's just a call away.
Is your home ready for anything? At Parker Services AC and Electrical, we do more than just keep you cool. We keep your whole home running smoothly. From AC maintenance and duct cleanings to whole home generator installations, we've got everything you need for comfort and reliability. Join our Peak Performance membership to keep your HVAC system in top shape and catch issues before they turn into costly repairs. And with a reliable generator, you'll never be left in the dark again. Call Parker Services today, where comfort is just a call away.
Parker Services. Comfort's just a call away.
Florida license number CMC 050334 and EC 1301240.
Parker McCollum.
With the man I am, what kind of man do you
Live 2025. Friday, September 26th, Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. Multi-platinum selling artist Parker McCollum. Special guests Ashley Cook and Cassie Ashton. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Parker McCollum Live.
Ready to spice things up, Tallahassee? Slide into the all-new Tallulah Love Shop, your one-stop pleasure palace. From sensual toys and steamy couples kits to luscious aphrodisiacs and pheromone perfumes that whisper yes. And oh, don't forget the THC slushies, flower, 7-0 kratom, and sweet edible treats that hit just right. Grab your partner or come solo and see the all-new Tallulah Love Shop at 1530 Mahan Drive. More love, more fun, always at Tallulah.
Some men follow the crowd. Others take the long way, the wayward way. At thewaywardgent.com, we've curated the gear, gadgets, and grit every respectable man needs, from the fairway to the fire pit. We've identified the top-rated Amazon finds, so you don't have to. No fluff, just the good stuff. Visit thewaywardgent.com for the man who's not afraid to live a little off course. Thewaywardgent.com.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Thank you, Territorial No. You can do it, Jeff. Happy Redemption Thursday, boys. Perhaps our punt returning woes would be solved by a freshman from Leon High School with B. Cameron on the back of the jersey. Oh, man. The toughie. He doesn't have the weight. That might be. I mean,
they can't hit him.
Yeah. He would go flying. He's like 160 68 pounds, I think, is what Bryce weighs. He can go like the wind blows, but man, every time he does, I hold my breath. I'm like, oh, they're going to send you into orbit. Got to get down, son. Get down. Doesn't mind being hit, though, so that's what's funny. A. Wright, stealing from Walmart in a post-NIL world is crazy. I'm telling you, he needs that juice, baby. It's not about the desperation. It's not the I don't have the funds. It's the action, boss. That's what that is. That's people just wanting the thrill of it. I mean, I would think, unless he spent every penny he got in NIL. I don't know. People are all different. What do you waste money on? Not much. I know who you are. We're friends. I've seen your frugality, but I've also seen that you're willing to spend when the time is right. You don't cheat yourself either. I'm not calling you cheap. Neither of us, really. I think I'm guilty of a couple things. I will spend a pretty penny on a very nice television.
Oh, yeah.
I'll spend a pretty penny on a bed that I'm going to use every night. I mean, my bed is awesome. But it's usually those kinds of big ticket items that I don't mind, where it's going to be like, all right, well, I use this every day. I don't mind spending. What do you waste money on?
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know that I would qualify it as waste. That's how you know that that you believe in what it is. But let's say that we're going out. A group of friends of mine are going out. Man, I'll pick up an extra round or two on the tab. Or
yeah, but that's not a waste of money. That's different. That's just kindness around friends, having a good time. You're spending a few extra bucks so that others can enjoy themselves. That's just benevolence and kindness, and I don't count that. I mean, where you know damn well you don't need this thing, shouldn't buy this thing, but it just gives you some sort of artificial surface level joy, and you're like, I'm going to get it, or I'm going to do it. And it could be, like I think we all have some sort of anchor like that where we go, I don't need that, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it's probably convenience services, deliveries.
Yeah.
I'll use the hell out of an Instacart or a DoorDash or an Uber. And I'm talking like for even grocery orders too. And I mean, if you don't have a discount promo, which many of them run, 30% off. And at that point, it's kind of a wash. Like, so you're telling me I'm paying about the same money, basically cent for cent, and you're going to like get in a car and take that stuff to me? Awesome. But there are plenty of times where that doesn't happen. And I will splurge out of convenience and be like, man, I'm either really busy or I'm tired.
I don't feel like driving
I don't feel like
somewhere.
it. And that could save me $15 if I just got in the car, and I don't do that.
You know what's funny, though? That's where we're just different.
You want to get out of the house. You want the reset.
To say it like that is a bit much.
No, but I mean, you are surrounded all day when you're home by a lot of people with a lot of different goals.
Yeah, no, it can be hectic. And the trip to Publix or Target or wherever it is I got to go is nice, sort of reset. You're right. Well, here's why. I like being in my car, listening to my music and just kind of contemplating the world. And then I can do that too when I go around and do my little shopping. I don't have
I'll upgrade on travel. Like an extra leg up on a flight. It's a $200 upgrade. Sometimes
I like that about you, Tom.
Sometimes it just feels like, man, I don't want to deal. I want to board earlier. I just want to sit there. And if they bring me a free cocktail, that's great too. And I'm talking Comfort Plus. If you want to upgrade to first class these days, that's like $500-$600. I've done it before.
Mm-hmm. You and I flew first class to Pittsburgh you, buddy. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
We had a good time. And then we enjoyed the Delta.
The Sky Club.
Sky Club was incredible.
See? Yeah, now you're converted. You like the Sky Club. If you're going to sit in an airport, that's the way to sit in the airport.
I was about to say, if you're going to spend 4 or 5 hours anywhere, you might as well do it in the luxury of a Sky Club.
Yeah, open bar.
Doesn't suck. We partook in the open bar on the way to Pittsburgh. On the way back, we kept it cool because we had something we had to do.
That was a long layover, too.
That was
a beast.
It was a beast. Next year, we'll shorten that layover when we're out in Scottsdale, Arizona playing golf. And then go into
Yeah, there's another thing, golf. Sure, I'll spend a little extra on golf.
Just kind of curious. I was thinking about it. I was thinking, like, what do I get that I don't need? Well, what's something that I routinely buy and I think, what are you doing here? Most of the time I can probably justify it, but some of them I'm like, there's just no reason for that.
Here you go. Here's a small item. I think it's cheaper than the alternative of buying at the grocery store, but I have a Soda Stream with carbonated water, CO2
but you
canisters.
Like carbonated water. You like carbonation in general.
I do. I do.
I don't care anything about carbonation unless it's like, my beer.
The 4-pack of canisters will last quite some time. It'll last months. But a 4-pack of canisters of CO2 is $125. And I'm just drinking water.
Yeah, so why? Why do you need it carbonated?
It's so much better. It's crisp. It doesn't have to be. I have plenty of still water, but it's a treat. And I used to drink soda so much, and instead of drinking soda, I drink
I'm glad
water.
you're not drinking the soda.
It's like my nicotine patch.
Yeah.
I'll still have a soda every once in a while, but yeah, I used to drink a lot of soda.
But you don't have a nicotine patch, just for people who are wondering.
I'm saying that SodaStream is the nicotine patch for the person who loves soda.
Here's a stat. I wanted to give this to you because it happens today, and for anybody still paying attention to baseball, here you go. And it's crazy to think about this. Where is my North Shore 9? There it is. It's this stat, and it blows me away. The Pirates are on the cusp of sweeping the Dodgers. You saw we shut them out yesterday 3-0.
Okay.
On the verge of sweeping the Dodgers. Paul Skeens takes the hill this evening in order to try to sweep the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Pirates have won his last 7 starts in Pittsburgh. Not that he's gotten the win, but they've won the last 7 starts in Pittsburgh. He's 4-0 during that stretch. His ERA is 0.44. What in those games? That is insane. That's not 2.12. That's not 1/8. It's 0.44. Now, I just cursed him. He's going to give up 7 in the first today. But that is unreal.
And get the win.
Hopefully. But I don't want to see him give up the 7 because a good performance against the Dodgers tonight would bring his ERA under 2 for the year. And he's logged a ton of innings, and that would secure the Cy Young.
That's one of those things where when you're out of it in a baseball season, and I've been out of plenty of them, and you have somebody trying to do something special, you watch, you make an appointment for that start or for those at-bats. Like, you'll have it in your head. All right, he batted about 40 minutes ago. He has to be good.
He'll be back.
Soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your guy's chasing a 30-30 season, or he's chasing 40 home runs or whatever it is, and yet you're going to lose 90 games. But you know damn well when that guy toes the rubber or when he steps in the batter's box.
Yeah, well, I'll know at 6:40 tonight, the Buccos hosting the Dodgers with a chance to sweep the Dodgers. We've actually been, for as bad as we were in the first half, we're not terrible now. But I don't know how we win games when you look at the roster they trot out there. But mainly pitching. But shut out that lineup last night. And, it's weird, and I'll move on from this because we got to get back to some football. MLB TV has issues on the regular with login problems for everybody, whether it's the app or if you go to the website, whatever it is. Kicked me out yesterday. I know it's the same password. What are we doing? It's the second time this year that's happened. I went and sat on the computer and tried to log into it. They're like, nope, wrong password. No, it's not. It's the same one that's been programmed in here forever.
Huh.
And this morning when I got up, they had sent an apology to their customers in general. Like, sorry, we screwed up. Sorry about that. They do it all the time.
There was, I've had a couple of times where it blackout restricted the game, and I'm
not blacked out.
No, but the best way to do this, to fix that, for folks out there who have it, is to go use their Twitter direct messages. It'll be fixed within 3-4 minutes. So you tell them that you are erroneously blacked out in a game. They're going to send you a link where you prove your IP address of your physical location. And if you have VPN, you can work around it, but I'm not gaming the system. You send that back, they reset it, you're good to go. And it happens in a matter of under 5 minutes.
Mine's not blacked out, just wouldn't let me in.
Yeah, so I had a couple games where I'm watching the Mets games as you blacked out local area. I'm like, get the hell out of here. No, I'm not. What are you talking about? And they fix it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna start direct messaging them. Some poor guy, some guy named like Cal is sitting there getting this. Like, what?
They're short with
Tallahassee
you too.
Is pissed.
They're short. They're not customer friendly. I think that's because they're getting inundated with these.
All right, we'll refigure in a second. Get back to college football. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV.
News now.
One man has been arrested after. with attempted homicide, possession of a firearm by a felon, grand theft of a firearm, and violation of probation. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by McElmore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McElmoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Partly cloudy this afternoon with highs around 92. East winds around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear tonight, 69. Bright sunshine expected tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 94. Temps above average Saturday and Sunday with highs in the mid-90s. Slight chance of thunderstorms Sunday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 89 degrees.
Hey, you, can't you read the sign? It says, keep off the grass. Oh, but I just wanted to feel it. Excuse me? I wanted to feel what it was like to have an amazing lawn like you do. It always looks so good, even in the summertime. How do you do it, neighbor? They're called Lawn Johns. They come once a week. Maybe you should give them a call so you can tell other people to stay off your lawn. How's that sound? Ooh, yes. I would love to tell people to stay off my lawn.
For the very best in lawn care, call the Lawn Johns at 850-322-2567.
Stay off my lawn.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played.
And you still try to break the rules, right?
Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Other games this weekend, and we can get into now because this is the game that is played after you get a big win. We talked about it earlier in the week. The other games this weekend, you begin to wonder how they affect Florida State, both within the conference and then big picture. Now, I'm not the guy, and I just said this a day ago too, to worry about rankings, whether or not we're being overlooked, undervalued, overprojected, whatever it might be. I'm not concerned. Not concerned. You've done what you needed to do already. Somebody said to me when I made that case the other day, I think it was yesterday, in fact, listen, Jeff, couple things here. You can't assume wins. We've done that before. See Jacksonville State. And that's when I was making an assumption about Saturday's game. And then they said, we've also been told if you just win, it'll take care of itself. Yeah, again, very different situations. It's a 12-team playoff, not a 4-team playoff. If you win your games, and let's say that's 11 of them, you're going to a playoff. With a win over Alabama, an 11-win campaign for Florida State would feature another major win. By definition, you would have a huge win against either Miami or Clemson or Florida. If not two is what you would have. Two more huge wins. Because you would assume one of your losses would be to one of those three teams that remain in that category. If you won 11. Now, if you win 10, you can get into the argument about, okay, now I need the conference to be better than it's projected. Now I need, now we start wringing hands a little bit.
Yeah, suddenly the Clemson loss to LSU at home. You're going, come on, man. What the hell?
It's the only time that I'll take the conference mantle is like, do we play somebody that if they're ranked higher and if they're more well thought of, it would be a direct benefit to us? So when we beat Miami and they lose that game and have no other losses, let's say, you might sit around and say, keep winning, Miami. Not out loud, but you might say it. You might even think it.
That's one thing. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the generation of free agency and 1099ism, if you will, independent contractor bounty hunting. I don't have any problem rooting for a rival. I'm not wearing their stuff. If it benefits us, I don't care. You know, like I know some people will say, never root for Miami. Hey, man, if Miami can help us get in the playoff by winning a football game, that is a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's correct. That's why I would always stop short of say never. But it's close. It's close to never. Very. There are exceptions, and I've lived those exceptions. I've seen games where we needed Miami to win, and I've thought, I need them to win. I hope they do, but it is very rare.
A caveat to that would be as you get later in the season, this is when it kicks in. For example, on Sunday night when Notre Dame played Miami, I'm rooting for Miami to choke that game away.
Of course you are.
Because they haven't gotten to a place where I know that they can help us. So for the moment, the rule doesn't kick in. But if we get to November 10th, and we're in it, but we could use either a Miami loss to have them fall out of the ACC championship or Miami beating somebody else who might be competing with us for a spot in Charlotte. Yeah, man, you got to root for what serves your interest the most, even if that means your rival has a happy afternoon.
It's much easier, for example, to root for Virginia to have a good year after we beat their ass on September 26th than it is for Miami to go on and have a good year, to root for it. You'll just be like, well, let's not just fall all over ourselves here, Miami. Let's keep it together somewhat.
So, for example, Noel Dad put in the chat, I will never root for Florida, never in all caps. So you're telling me, though, in the situation where, let's say we're competing with Tennessee for an at-large bid in the playoff, and Florida's playing Tennessee in the penultimate week of the season, that you wouldn't be happy to see Florida beat Tennessee in that moment?
Yeah, but time out. Here's how this goes. This is where defining your terms matters, and this is where words matter. You, Noel Dad, may be telling us the truth about you will never root for Florida. Just like I won't sit around and actively root. You might say, oh, come on, this is semantics. No, I can't bring myself to be like, yeah, there we go, Canes. Like, that's not ever going to happen. Might there be a moment of like, okay, that's the result we need? Keep it up? Yeah, there's a difference.
Oh, yeah.
There's a difference.
There is one, but I'll tell you, I'll fist pump. Now, I'm not like jumping up and singing the fight song, but let's just say hey, let's say it's like the end of that game when they went 95 yards twice against Tennessee.
Screw you out of your bet.
And, well, in this case, though, it is to outright beat them. It's 23-20. Florida gets the ball on their own 5-yard line, 1:05, no timeouts, and Florida needs to go the length of the field. We're competing with Tennessee for an at-large bid. Man, every time they make a first down, it's this. Okay, come on. Finish this. Do us a solid here. Because the thing is, you know their fans hate it when it happens. Because they're watching their team succeed and they're saying, we are benefiting Florida State. This is going to be a bittersweet moment. And if they score and they win, appreciate you. Thanks, guys. Now, enjoy your 7-5 season. We really appreciate that upset.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to, if Florida State's going to get into the playoff and have a chance to win a national championship and all it takes is Miami or Florida to win the game, fine. Florida, Miami, go win your game, and you know what? There we go. That's all it is. It's not that hard because it's for selfish reasons and it's not truly rooting. It's just appreciating what was necessary. The task had to be. It just had to be this time around.
It's funny. I think everybody's too proud to say it. In that room, they're like, come on, guys, get it together. Win this game. I think if you're alone in your living room and that game's on the screen and you need that result.
You feel dirty. You feel.
But you'll say it.
You're a little bit in a fetal position wanting to take a shower. If you've actively said, come on, Florida, let's convert here.
Because here's the thing. Would you be more mad if they came up to the brink and then failed? Or would you be more happy in that situation and say, good, they lost? I think you'd be more mad if they came up to the brink of scoring the result that you needed and then failed you.
I don't like us to be in a position where we're reliant on our rivals to help us. And I would be mad at us, first and foremost. Also, if they're going to lose, Tom, I am of the mindset, lose 80-0 so I can laugh at you. It hurts us, but screw it. You just got stomped, fine with me. Wear that ass beaten. You know, that kind of a thing. But I'm vindictive as a bettor in general, let alone a fan. If you're going to screw me out of a cover, get beat 11-0 in baseball. I don't care.
That's right.
I mean, I'm serious. Like, I root for it all the time. I'm like, oh, you're going to be like that, are you? You're going to screw this up and allow backdoor? I hope you lose. I hope you get your – yeah, I get mad. Then it happens.
Yeah, you were talking with Lee about that last week, being vindictive. But, yeah, 28-27, here it is. Chance to get a humongous moment that puts you in. Ball snap.
Put you in the playoff? Yeah, man. I'm pulling for that kick to go through the uprights.
Come on, make this.
Make the kick. And I might call him a name.
Right. Because if you're on the other side of it, what you're saying is when the kick is missed and they blow it,
you're like, good.
You're like, that's a better result.
No,
I'm happier for this. No, you're not,
no,
man.
No. Yeah, there have been times over the years where, let's say, actually go back to the Big 12, Oklahoma, Texas. Obviously, I've said it on the show many times with all the Oklahoma folks in my family, graduates of OU, people from Oklahoma, people who went to the university, graduated from the university. That's a part of my family. No fewer than 3, I think 4 attended, 3 graduated from OU. So I grew up where those OU ties were strong. I used to go in the summer times out to the family farm in Okemah. And, I still feel that of my childhood. It's cool with me. There have been games, and I hate Texas, and there have been games where it benefits OU for Texas to win that game in the Big 12 standings, and I've been able to say, all right, well, get it together, Longhorns, underachieving, sorry bitches. Like that kind of a thing. That's I've been able to do that.
Imagine if you were a never BCer as a Knoll fan, and it's 1993.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I was living off Ocala Road in Berkshire Manor.
Don't you do it, Boston College. I hate you, Boston College.
I hugged everybody in that courtyard that would be hugged in that moment as if I were the biggest BC fan to ever live.
I know we're going to the title game. I know we're playing. I can't do it. I can't hug you. I'm a never BC guy.
But I do look at some important games this weekend, and that SMU one is interesting, and so is the North Carolina State-Virginia game. We played both North Carolina State and Virginia. I'm just talking about jockeying for both the ACC to have a relatively decent year and be perceived a certain way, which would benefit Florida State if we were on the cusp, as well as getting a handle on what either of those two teams are, since we play both Virginia and NC State. I'm going to be watching, or at least we'll go back and watch. And I'm not real sure about NC State. Virginia may keep that interesting. Don't you think it's odd NC State's only a 3.5-point favorite? We got quarterback situations at NC State.
Yeah, this speaks to the Virginia health issues, right? That line?
It's only 3.5?
Yeah. It's just they're both being brought down is what I'm saying.
They are both being brought down.
Because Virginia, if you look at the amount of snaps that they brought in, I had that chart last week about experience brought in. Like Virginia did an overhaul now, but they have been beset by injuries since preseason camp. So I think that is affecting the line, but then also I don't think NC State's good.
I don't think NC State's good. And I have my questions as to whether or not SMU's any good. That's why I picked Baylor.
It's a good pick.
It is a good pick. You like my Vandy against Virginia Tech pick?
I do.
We play Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
It would be to the benefit of the ACC, and I guess long-term for Florida State, if Virginia Tech hosting a game against Vandy, who will probably be lower echelon SEC. Let's not lose at home to Vandy, guys.
Try not to overreact to week 1, but I feel like it's more than just this season, week 1. If Virginia Tech has a decent quarterback on the sideline, I wonder if that kid doesn't trot on the field at some point this year.
So the drones conversation would end quick.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, in terms of just sheer intrigue, I don't know how you can't be absolutely transfixed at 7:30 on Saturday night between number 15 Michigan, number 18 Oklahoma. You've got an entirely new offense with Batir at Oklahoma trying to save Venable's job. At home, at night in Norman is going to be electric. That place, Memorial Stadium's awesome. Florida State fans know they've been there. They've seen that atmosphere. Michigan is a blue blood. We know what they are. They've got a lot of really good players. We'll see if their quarterback's up to the task to go on the road and play in that atmosphere. That's a great game. It's also a great uniform game. Seeing Michigan and Oklahoma on the field at the same time, you're like, oh, don't mind if I do.
If you're going to be a shade of blue, be navy. If you're going to be a shade of red, be garnet or crimson, or what's their color? What do they call it?
They call it blood red. But
blood red. Yeah, fine. But, their time was that when we had true garnet, ourselves and Oklahoma were in a very similar family of a red color.
Alabama's colors are great.
Yes, theirs tinges just a little more purple. Like it's kind of close to where we are right now. But sure, those three colors. If you're going to be red, be that kind of a color, that very earthy tone.
It's regal.
It is.
It's regal. Whereas Wisconsin's is cartoonish.
Right. Maryland. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you see Wisconsin's red, you're like, oh, you're a little kid coloring the train.
Damn.
That's kind of
Clip
what
that
it is.
for if we go to the Big Ten. Send it up to Madison.
Yeah. It's like, unfortunately, I say the same thing about Utah's red. And I love Utah. But Utah's red, I'm like, oh, how sweet. Are you coloring the car?
That's interesting. I feel like Utah's red is a little bit different than Wisconsin's, but now I'm going to have to go back and take a look.
It's not a good red.
Okay.
It needs to be deeper, richer, darker.
What's the cutoff? How about the Cardinals? Is that too
Arizona's
bright red?
No, Arizona's red's fine.
No, forgive me. The St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, well, that's a burn in hell red. That's a ridiculous franchise to begin with. What about Rutgers red? Where are you at on that red?
That seems fine to me.
It's an okay red.
I feel like Rutgers red and Utah's red is more similar than...
It is. What about Indiana's red? That's a good red.
That's a good red.
That's a good red.
Yeah.
What about SMU's red?
No.
Not good, but you know why it works? Because it's part of that all-American red, white, blue red.
Yeah, and it goes with like those 70s pastel colors. If you're going to do it, you got to have multiple ones to elevate.
And
like
they get away with it. They get away with it.
Yeah.
Just like Tennessee and Clemson's orange is different.
It is. Yes, it is.
Very different. We could do this all day because we're uniform guys. Final hour, forthcoming bonus hour. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Feeling sluggish? Wake up your body the right way with Vigor. The all-new Vigor Cold Plunge Tub from Hot Spring Spas is now available exclusively at Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas in Tallahassee. Boost circulation, reduce inflammation, sharpen your focus, and more. Elite athletes do it daily, and now you can too. Experience the power of cold therapy in your own home. Come see the Vigor Cold Plunge, available only at Pinch a Penny on Capitol Circle Northeast and Greer Road.
Whidden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Whidden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Whidden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Whidden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Whidden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Honey, what are these mushrooms in our yard? Portobello?
Huh, let me take a look. Oh,
Shiitake.
I don't know, but our septic system is failing, and our whole yard smells like...
Should we try to cook these up and eat them tonight?
This is bad, Sheila.
Well, we better fix it soon, or we're going to be in deep...
Sheila, look. It's Crud Septic. Our prayers are answered.
Call Crud Septic Service today. Pump outs, installs, repairs, crudseptic.com. That's crudseptic.com.
Budget Blinds of Tallahassee is your local window covering experts. They do it all: blinds, shades, drapery, shutters, even home automation. And they'll be there with you from the design to the measuring to the installation. Budget Blinds is with you every step of the way.
Hello, I'm Gary, the local owner of Budget Blinds of Tallahassee. Let us help you with your unique window treatment needs. Call us at 668-4835 for a free in-home consultation, or find us online at budgetblinds.com/Tallahassee.
Attention all sandwich lovers. Café de Martín is bringing Peruvian fire to your lunch break with their all-new summer sandwich combos. Asado that melts in your mouth. Fried fish so fresh and crispy, it snaps. And smoked pork or chicken? Yes, please. Comboed with Peruvian fries and an iced tea for just $15. Available Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 3. Upgrade your lunch at Café de Martín in the Esposito Shopping Center. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Tired of watching baseball score updates on your phone? Get off the bench and head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is your home for all MLB games in-state or nationwide. Enjoy the coldest drinks, Tallahassee's best wings, and watch your team in crystal clear comfort. And if you'd like to compete, come by Tuesday nights for CP Trivia and Thursday nights for Beer Bingo, where you can walk home with cold, hard cash. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
WVFT Gretna, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. More of the Jeff Cameron Show is coming up next. your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Christmas Day for football bettors. The NFL kicks off with the Philadelphia Eagles laying 7.5 against the Dallas Cowboys, 46.5 the total at Lincoln Financial Field. Coming up on Sunday, the Jaguars open with the Carolina Panthers. Jaguars laying 3.5 points, 46.5 the total. The Jags, dating back to last season, have dropped 7 of 8 against NFC opponents. College football Saturday at the Swamp in Gainesville. Florida 17.5 point favorite over South Florida, 56.5 the total. Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell 5-1 with a cup race this week in Illinois. Score $500 in rewards at the G-Bank First Bet VSiN Trifecta. Details at vsin.com/GBank. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
This weekend, Kohl's is giving away millions in Kohl's Cash in store. It's like you're getting free shopping money. At least that's what I tell my husband. Yep, you're just making smart financial decisions, one trendy sweater at a time. Plus, all month, enter our online sweepstakes at Kohl's.com for a chance to win $200 Kohl's Cash. Some exclusions apply while supplies last. Giveaway ends September 7th. Sweepstakes ends September 30th, 2025. No purchase necessary. 20 winners per day. Limit one prize per person for entire sweepstakes. See Kohl's.com for official rules and details.
That leaf pile is 100 feet tall. Your dad can't handle this. Not without the right equipment.
Yard work piling up? Gear up for fall with John Deere. Get $750 off select mowers, $2,000 off select Gator UVs, and $3,000 off select compact tractors.
Did I hear your dad got a John Deere? Yep, bad day to be a leaf pile.
Gear up for fall at an authorized John Deere dealer now through September 30th. Learn more at johndeere.com/gearupforfall.
Water is your home's worst enemy. It finds cracks, soft spots, and weaknesses. But not on our watch. At Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing, we're veteran-owned and built different, driven by detail and the pursuit of excellence. We install seamless gutters, underground drainage, and waterproofing systems that don't fail. Because when you live with discipline, water doesn't stand a chance. Gutter Solutions and Waterproofing. Visit guttersolutions.net. With us, it's personal. A roof isn't decoration. It's your home's first line of defense. At GSWP Roofing, we treat every build like it's mission critical. We're GAF Master Elite certified, led by a former Marine. And we don't cut corners. We execute with discipline, precision, and materials that hold the line. Storm after storm, year after year. Repairs, replacements, full installs. This is roofing done by the book. No excuses, no shortcuts. GSWP Roofing. Online at gswproofing.com. With us, you're covered.
License number CCC 1335048.
Harnessing the power of the sun, delivering the highest quality drinking water. We are warming homes and fueling industries. And behind every service, there's a dedicated team. They're your neighbors, friends, and family. We are connected, and together we are stronger. Day and night, rain or shine, the City of Tallahassee Utilities is working for you.
Let's be honest, we all have way too much stuff. Maybe your storage closet is full, your garage is full, or the guest bedroom is a mess. Call Southeast Portable Buildings, 580-6400, or visit them online at southeastportablebuildings.com.
Did you know power surges can put your heating and air conditioning system at risk? E&B offers protection for your HVAC, preventing damage from surges, overvoltage spikes, and other stresses. Call E&B Heating and Air today and ask about power protection for your equipment before it's too late.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
say thank you. Same goes for those of you watching on YouTube, Warchant TV. That's the way that goes. Thanks so much for supporting. Thanks for taking in the Jeff Cameron Show and watching and or listening in whatever manner that you do. It is indeed Redemption Thursday. There it is, Wesley. You, Jeff, or Tom? Yo, is what he meant to say. I just watched Coach speak. It was fantastic. Is it going to be on its own channel now? Yes. Yes, it is. And that's how that works. We have separated because it's not a Florida State product. So we didn't feel that it needed to be on the Florida State channels or the Warchant channels. So it's on its own. But I will say, I think you can find the podcast feed for said Coach Speak on the Seminole Headlines feed. I believe that's what we're doing for the podcast.
He knew the answer to that. He asked earlier. I see it's going to be on its own channel now. But there you go. Yes. So the world now knows. That's good.
I think he said, is it going to be?
I mean, earlier, like a comment like an hour ago.
Okay, we got it now. Get those wagers ready. We're going to go college first. Let's recap for those that just jumped into the car. Maybe they're on their way home a little early. They're like, what are the wagers, man? They're scratching their hands.
Come on, Jeff. Got another bet.
Give me them wagers, man. Iowa plus 3.5 against Iowa State. Give me the Hawkeyes. Go ahead, say it, Tom.
The Cy-Hawk Trophy.
Baylor money line over SMU. Suck it, Rhett Lashley. We're going Baylor. And crazy Dave Aranda. And man, is he nuts in a way that I love. West Virginia minus 3.5. I think that they're trying to screw us. It's a 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you, Vegas. What is this number? What is this 3.5? Am I sucker betting West Virginia? I might be. It's early in the season. Maybe I get taken to the cleaners, but I'm laying 3.5. Get you some Ohio Bobcats.
All the way down to my plums.
Ohio's a small school that I've always had a little soft spot in my heart, Tom. They wear that green that I love.
Yep.
And they actually recruited me. And so I'm like, oh, Ohio.
Could have been a Bobcat.
They liked what they saw. I'm like, okay, Ohio. Boston College plus 4.5 against Michigan State. I think BC is probably better than Michigan State, so I'm taking them points. Let's go ahead and win the game. Vandy money line over Va-Tech. See, I give to the ACC and I take it away. I think Vandy will come in, button up, ready to roll. They'll say, screw you, Virginia Tech. Mr. Drones, throw us the ball. You like to. UCLA and UNLV, we're going to go over 55 in the no defense zone right there. Tulsa's laying 3.5 against New Mexico State, and I'm laying it with them.
I can feel it all the way down to my plums.
You ever played with New Mexico State on the game?
No. You know, there's usually 3 or 4 teams that are from weird places that I will endeavor, but never New Mexico State.
Wasn't that where Bob Davie was for a while?
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Unless it was New Mexico.
Could have been. It's in Las Cruces.
Which ones are the Lobos? State or?
The New Mexico State are the Aggies. So the Lobos are New Mexico. New Mexico State are the Aggies, and I think that maybe not was what Bob Davie might have been with New Mexico.
That's correct. 2012 to 2019. That's a long run.
Have yourself a run, Bob Davie. No, the interesting part is New Mexico State, the Aggies are in Conference USA. And as I said, are in Las Cruces. And that's the way you're forced to say it.
Here's your trivia question of the day.
All right.
Bob Davie coached 99 games at New Mexico over his career from 2012 to 2019. How many games did he win out of those 99?
68. 32.
35.
35. I went big, then I went low.
35 and 64.
Well, this is hard. Hard to win at New Mexico. Although I like the Aggies football mascot. He's drawn double-barreled for that ass. He's got both guns ablazing when you see him. He's like, oh, no, not today. Not today. I got both guns drawn. My 6 shooters are where you can see them. I wear them outside my pants. It's hilarious when you go see that mascot. And he's got the reddish, purplish, garnetish sort of look to him that you could judge whether or not you think that that's right. More wagers. Let's keep them up there. I went with Tulsa minus 3.5 over New Mexico State, just to reiterate. Louisiana Tech plus 37.5 against LSU. San Diego State to win on the money line over Washington State. How did you not hit the sounder on La Tech plus 37.5?
Because LSU is involved in the game. Usually I like to see some sort of, double down on weirdness. You're playing LSU more than you're playing Louisiana Tech in that spot, right?
Yeah, I'm playing LSU to back off the throttle a little bit. There's some games like that this weekend. In fact, if you endeavor, go find those massive spreads and ask yourself, really? What's going to happen here? I think the Texas Tech game, you're kind of like, ooh, that's a huge number. Is that 48.5? I don't know about all that, guys. There's a few of those this weekend where you do wonder if we could still do like we did back in the day. Hell no. To the no. We would have a couple to choose from.
Zap.
I know. There's no chance they got me that time.
No,
around.
but that was good. That's really good.
That wasn't bad, but what I'm saying is that, I wish we still could, and I still am mad that we're not allowed to use. Let's move it on over. NFL, Panthers, Jags, over 46.5. Slinging it around the lot, these two. Eagles tonight, lay the 8.5 versus the Cowboys. I don't know why this happens to me. Perhaps bad habits. I don't know. But Thursday night football, and in particular this matchup, it's strange. It's neither city's famous for them. Just all day long, mind's eye, a picture of a wing being dipped into blue cheese deliciously. Just me going, ooh. Got us a little NFL tonight. Cowboys, Eagles, old school rivalry, and some wings. Don't mind if I do.
Do you go through phases with the flavors of the wings, or do you have a choice one and then a favorite alternate?
When I was a kid and we would get wings, I was the most bland and boring man or child. Just plain, nothing on them.
Oh, really? Naked?
That's the way I was. As I got older, I wanted them to be blazingly hot, almost nuclear.
Lockbox.
Uh-huh. And then I finally began to settle in on a little bit of crispy. A little crispy.
Okay.
Went crispy. And then I decided we're going to do a mixing and matching like you do. Like the wings we've had at the CP before.
Mm-hmm.
You like the barbecue. You've always been a hot barbecue guy.
Spicy barbecue, hot barbecue. Yeah, they don't advertise with us, but back in the day, the Hobbit on Pensacola Street was the first to introduce me to that. I'll tell you exactly where I was. It was a Giants playoff game in January. I went with my buddy who was a New York Giants fan, and they came out blood red. They were blood red.
Oh, yeah.
Real heat, real barbecue. And from that moment, I've tried everybody's spicy barbecue, and the Corner Pocket nails it.
They do. And I will do a hot garlic parm mix, crispy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good mix. I'll go hot, crispy lemon pepper. Didn't used to have come around on it.
And I think as we all get older, we take a look at the rub, right? Not just the sauces, but the rub on the wing.
The rub is quality.
Sometimes you don't want the sauce. It's too messy. Let's just go with let's go Cajun rub. Sounds delicious.
When you're at Hat Tricks, you get them the way that the classic, the way that they, what is it? Dave's way, Jerry's way, whatever the hell it's called.
It's very good. I will say though, they do have the blood red spicy barbecue.
But I get them the owner's way.
Yeah.
There, I follow suit. I say, you're good. That's what it is. I like that Lee's like, yep, Jeff, and 16-ounce beers on Thursday nights. It's like my man in Baton Rouge. That's funny, Doctor. Well done.
It's true, Cajun flavor.
My dear TPE flying in. I knew that was coming. I knew that would elicit a response.
Isn't there something to the tall boy versus the standard 12-ounce can? Like, I would just backhand the 12-ounce can off the table. Give me a bottle at that point. But if you're going to give me a can of beer,
a 16-ounce
can changes everything.
Yes, over a 16-ounce bottle. Give me the 16-ounce can.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. 12-ounce bottles, 16-ounce cans.
There is something about a 16-ounce can after mowing the lawn. When it's really hot in the dead of summer, I will stand and admire my handiwork with a 16-ounce Coors Light ice cold can. Pound it. The wagers are still there. Let's get back to them. I didn't finish. We got carried away with rubs and cans and meats.
Uniforms.
It's almost like a Libations Friday edition of the show, but welcome back, NFL. Bucks Falcons over 46.5, Chiefs Chargers under 46.5. And really, this is the last, you know what? This is the last lonely week we'll ever spend, because I promise you next week, player props galore. Lad McConkey over 4.5 receptions coming your way next week.
Out of curiosity, because you can get into about 20 of those, and I think last year's record was 12 player props in 1 week of Redemption Thursday wagers.
You think I did 12 in 1 weekend?
I
think
pretty
you're
sure
right.
you
I think I did.
I remember the whole spreadsheet that I pulled the screenshot from. Like, oh my god!
No, I listen. That was where I made my money last year, is in the player props. I had a run with that.
I'm on the council here. I have 1 vote. You have 2. So that's why I just bring this to the council's attention. Do you want to put player props on a Friday? Because you have so many spread wagers.
I can. If you'd like me to start endeavoring to do that, I will. Because I'm going to bet them anyhow.
They're not elevated. They get lost in the shuffle. And they're very important. That's actually been your meal ticket.
That and 3-team teaser pleasers have also
not the other guy.
3-team teaser pleasers have been good to me too over the years. You get ups and downs there. Finally, anyhow, Chiefs Chargers under 46.5. You know that game. I'm just going to tell you right now, that game, and this is why it's week 1, so we can all laugh at me when it happens this way. That just feels like a hideous game. Like we're going to be watching 23-17, 22-16, some weird ass score where you're like, look at this game. Last year, keep an eye on the Chiefs, everybody. I'm gonna first warn you here. Keep an eye on the Chiefs. We may be saying time's up. Grand opening, grand closing. It was an unbelievable run. Titles were won. The whole thing. Legends were made. But man, these windows slam shut when they fall. Look at San Francisco a year ago.
Sure. Well, and
slammed shut.
And Mahomes might be back for a second go because he can last another 10, 15 years in the league if he wants to. But I love the suspicion you have there, and I also love the under. That is the strongest bet of the 2 pages.
Yeah.
I think that's the strongest bet right there.
Mario, you're on with a wager. No chance. No chance, buddy. Yeah, no, we bet it. We bet it, buddy. And you and I will bet. If it's going to be a personal bet, we're going to bet a really good scotch together. If we're giving to charity, then fine, whatever you want. Let's go with what do you do, stewed tomatoes or whatever the hell you do? Something like that.
Got a question on flavors. Where do you stand on Nashville Hot as a flavor?
I don't ever think about it.
There was a place.
I don't ever think about it.
There was a place on the Parkway, the predecessor to the Glory Days now. Remember, it was open for a year or 2, and we used to go there after work because not the Parkway, Cap Circle, excuse me.
Some sort of beef thing, Mario. You know what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Dinty. That was
some
Nate.
Sort of
that was
beef
Nate.
thing.
Dinty
Yeah,
beef
whatever
stew.
the hell it was. Yeah.
Remember that place that it was like a fish house or something like that on Capitol Circle before Glory Days moved in there?
Oh, yes, I do remember that place.
They had a Nashville Hot chicken that was amazing, and nobody else has ever touched it as a flavor.
It was fascinating that that place has never been able to make it for very long. It's been everything. It's been a Mexican restaurant. It was some sort of fish place.
Cody's Original
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Yeah, that's right. It was there with the peanuts on the floor.
Just plain good food.
Damn it, the bread at Cody was unbelievable. Remember
Was
that
it?
soft, hot bread? Oh,
I only
forget
went
about
there
it.
for one ESPN remote.
Man,
I never
it was
went there on my own.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was really good. Anyhow, there's your Redemption Thursday wagers. We ended it with a capper pizza money parlay, 15 to win, 359.19 at plus 22.95. Sprinkle that pizza all day long. Iowa coupled with Baylor, Kent State, BC, Tulsa. 4 of the 5 were catching points. One of the games, Tulsa laying 2.5. That's it. Combine them, see what you get now. It was plus 22.95 at the time I did it. He didn't just commit. He committed earlier, and we talked about it. I began the show actually referencing, for those of you, oh, wait, different, new commit. You're right. Another. You guys are correct. I'm in the wrong. I thought you were talking about the other 4-star blue chip top 100 player that committed. He's done it again. Luke Lauk's out here swinging for the fences in year one.
It's Brandon Bash Jr. That is another top 100 player, and that's 3 top 100 players in the class for Florida.
I want to reiterate for people that joined the show late. All right, I began this show knowing that it was a football day. It's a redemption football day, and the wagers were ready to go. And we had a lot to talk about as far as the way Florida State's going to play it. But I actually incorporated basketball because I'm telling you, that's the kid out of Windermere Prep. This is they had a veritable who's who in the top 100 at Florida State's basketball practice on Saturday. Everywhere you looked, you saw elite talent. Everywhere you looked, somebody would come over and say, that kid's a top 5 guard in the country. That's the number 1 forward in the country. That's a top 10 small forward. That's the best 2 guard in the nation. That's the best center in the nation. And I continued to look around and thought, well, what gives? Not that you ought not go after these guys. Not that you ought not be trying to change the culture and the perception and what's possible here for Florida State basketball, but where is the realistic, pragmatic approach to trying to build a roster? And I'm sure Luke would say to me, oh, I did that with the group that I brought in for this upcoming season. I brought in guys who could play the way I want to play, that are going to change the way we're viewed, change the way we play, help influence the culture moving forward. And then from there, I'm going to sign an elite top 10 class, and we're going to go win a bunch of basketball games, not to shortchange the group that will be on the floor this year. And my fear is for a lot of people hear this and they go, oh, wait a minute, we're going to be great in basketball this year?
Maybe.
Probably not. Probably not great in basketball this year. But, man, I've never cared more about a season after a season than I do right now, because they are one by one, day by day, bringing in elite players. There's something in the air here, and there's a buzz. There's a real buzz.
Those like $100 bills, and I'm here for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it takes to win in basketball. There's not a dirtier sport in all of college athletics than basketball. Now it's on the up and up. You can legally do it. But, yeah, they're bringing in – it's crazy. Colin Paul was the kid I talked about at the beginning of the show. He was the 4-star forward, 6'7", Cavalier Christian Academy in Palm Beach. Then you bring in from Windermere Prep Brandon Bass, a 6'4" guard. This is – man, good on you, man. We'll have to get Luke on next week. He's not allowed to talk about those recruits per se, but
he's not afraid to talk about issues surrounding college basketball and crowdfunding and all that kind of stuff. In his press conference when he took the job, he's like, well, we won't be going after these guys that are top 10 players because we don't have the money for it. I'm like, okay, thank you.
No,
saying the quiet part out loud.
I think most recruits and most recruits' parents and most people that pay attention to the modern game really appreciate candor and just straightforward conversation about the world we live in now. I mean, this is no longer, hey, this kid needs $700 in a McDonald's bag when you put him through the drive-thru. I mean, what are we doing here? These are big boy conversations in which we're like, all right, we can't compete with Duke money. We can't compete with North Carolina money, Kansas money, Kentucky money, things like that. But are we going to be able to compete with the group just after that? How much and to what extent do we want to? And, oh, by the way, it's not just the money. You don't have to be top bidder to get a kid. It's how you recruit them. It's about the relationships, and it's what you're going to provide them when they're here. And Luke's whole talking point and push has been, I worked in the NBA, both in the front office at Golden State and then also on the bench as an assistant coach at Sacramento. I've got ties to the NBA. I know how they practice. I know how they build, and I know what it takes to get there and what it will require for you. And I'm going to put you in the position to be looked at by the people in this business who I do know and know well and can turn you on to, and we'll do this very professionally.
It's fun to think about how it's not that long ago that a kid did go through a drive-through. Guy walks up to the window. "Hello, young man. Here's your snack wrap. Here's your other snack wrap. And here's your McFlurry. All right, see you."
Yeah. You know, it's comical what used to happen.
Have a good weekend at Go Noles.
Let's come back and solve for the future here in a second. We'll do it next with our friends at ISF.
Hi, Chris Kraft with Kraft Nissan. Are you looking for reliability and quality in your next car? Listen to this. J.D. Power is to the auto industry what the Academy Awards are to Hollywood. So J.D. Power published the 2025 report, and Nissan was #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands. Let me say that again. Nissan was #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands, with Nissan Murano tops for reliability in the midsize SUV category, and Nissan Kicks taking the top spot for reliability in the small SUV category. And in the all-important quality and reliability ratings, which measures the car's dependability for years down the road, both Nissan Sentra and Altima lead the pack. We did our usual. We called the factory and said we want our customers to get extra incentives to buy our award-winning vehicles. So Kraft Nissan is extending the 0% financing for 60 months on our top-rated 2025 SUVs, Rogue, Murano, and Pathfinder. But hurry, as the last of the 2025s are going fast. Only at Kraft Nissan, Tallahassee.
Just below Florida's coastal waters lies its most tempting treasure, fresh farm-raised oysters and clams. Plump, salty, and delicious, this bounty of bivalves makes any dish, whether grilled, baked, or fried, a little nautical, but nice. Sustainably harvested, these mouth-watering mollusks are available year-round. And with a flick of the wrist, a squeeze of lemon, or a splash of hot sauce, they turn any meal into a celebration on the half shell. To see what fresh Florida farm-raised oysters and clams can do for you, visit freshfromflorida.com.
Still waiting on that load of laundry to finish? If your dryer is taking forever to dry your clothes, the problem might not be your machine. It could be a clogged dryer vent. J. Walker Enterprises specializes in professional dryer exhaust cleaning, improving dryer efficiency and helping protect your home from a potential fire hazard. Don't risk it. Contact J. Walker Enterprises today and breathe easier knowing your home is safer and your clothes will finally dry on time. Visit jwalkerenterprises.com, the company locals trust.
J.D. Power recently named Nissan #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands, with Nissan Murano and Kicks tops in the SUV categories, and both Sentra and Altima winners amongst sedans. For true quality and reliability, look no further than Kraft Nissan.
Searching for the best place to spend time outdoors this spring and summer? The Golf Club at Summerbrook has all the amenities you and your family need. Purchase a family pool membership this season and enjoy the most luxurious and relaxing resort-style pool in the entire city. With a 6,000 square foot deck, covered pavilion, and poolside drink and food service, you'll feel like you're on vacation. Reserve your pool membership today. Visit the Golf Club at Summerbrook.com or call 850-894-GOLF. That's 894-GOLF.
Game day in Tallahassee starts with energy, and nothing fuels that spirit like Grassroots Coffee brand new End Zone Blend.
That's right. Every cup of End Zone Blend doesn't just taste incredible. It also supports our Florida State Seminoles football program.
Grassroots Coffee knows it's about commitment and being all in. Every sip of End Zone Blend helps push the program forward, supporting the grind and the climb.
So whether you're at home, have a business, or just getting fired up before kickoff, make End Zone Blend part of your game plan.
Support local and our favorite coffee roaster. Order Grassroots Coffee's End Zone Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. And let's keep driving the Noles to victory.
It's that easy. Drink Grassroots Coffee and help support the Florida State Seminoles. And don't forget, you can get 15% off your first order at grassrootscoffee.com.
Grassroots Coffee's brand new End Zone Blend.
Grassroots Coffee.
Made for everyone.
Loved everywhere.
Real Talk fact number 44. Banging your head against the wall for 1 hour burns 150 calories.
This is Real Talk 93.3, Tallahassee's Real Talk station. You're listening to Real Talk 93.3, WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Potential good news for those of us that want to see a little bit more of a buttoned-up approach in college football. Looks like it's going to be that finally the NCAA Football Oversight Committee is going to get a handle on the transfer portal. In fact, they voted today, according to Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports, to support a single transfer portal in January, ushering in a significant change. The administrative committee will have to formally adopt the changes, but it is expected to be done. That will be a 10-day window expected to open January 2nd for the transfer portal. Okay, then. So not 2, 1. You get one time. Good.
Maybe for good measure and for nostalgia.
Oh, the portal. I like it, buddy.
It was too much. It was open too often. But it wasn't special anymore. It was open all the time.
You heard it while you were driving around town.
I thought that was your TV it turned on.
No, it was just ridiculousness. I'm like, oh, there's the stupid portal again. I'm sure 400 people just jumped in.
There goes Jeff's generator.
That's it.
To support his television power.
Bringing together experienced thought leaders and proven methodologies to support meaningful change with a lasting impact. My friends at ISF, over 40-plus years in the business, transforming organizations through strategy, process, technology. Yeah, man. Good stuff. They do it here locally in Tallahassee. They do it throughout the country as well. There are leaders in the field. We've talked about how they help state government. We've talked about how they help modernize your business. Again, it's delivering products, support and encourage teams there at their headquarters all around the country, become more efficient, organizational transformation, IT modernization, whatever it is you need, public sector managed services, strategy and operations. That's ISF right here in Tallahassee. I think Luke Laux is solving for the future by asking billionaires for large sums of money to buy really good players. And I think that is fantastic. Great job, Luke.
2026 is going to be some kind of year. There you go. Thank you, Luke.
I do want to point out that when he was hired, and I think coaches are probably sensitive to this. Look, I mean, he's certainly been brutally honest, as you just pointed out a segment ago, about what they can and can't do and the kind of waters they can swim in or not. But also, coaches deserve credit for having relationships, putting together a staff of guys that have relationships that extend what's possible or widen the range of people that you can reach out to, that have great connections and relationships in the basketball world. The basketball world's weird. There are a ton of coaches that know coaches that understand this AAU or this group here that's connected to this group, and that coach will steer players based on relationships that assistant coach that you brought in has. I mean, we know that's a big part of it. Who are they connected to? Go back to when Ham had it rolling. We talked a lot about the stuff that the assistant coach on that staff would do. You know, we knew that
it was a two-headed monster with Gates and CY.
I was going to say, we knew that CY and Dennis were guys that had great connections in the Atlanta area, in the Chicago area. They were finding where a lot of these fertile grounds for basketball talent are. The D.C. area, you've got to be able to reach out and have connections there, man. It's a very different game. Who knows who and why and what favors are owed? These are all a big part of it. Who you're represented by, is it a Nike school or not? You know, all this stuff. And Luke came in here eyes wide open. He had connections throughout the NBA, understood how things got done, and putting it to good use and putting together a staff that has those relationships is something that it's not just us congratulating, hey, man, you found a billionaire that wants to help out. That guy's always existed, I might add. There are a couple of guys, not a lot of Florida State fans know, that have always really had an infatuation with and a love for basketball. Haven't always been able to, I guess, capitalize on that for a variety of reasons, especially since the rules aren't what they are now. But there have been guys that were wanting to and willing to help. That's true of baseball. A lot of people know who that is in baseball. You got to have the support of certain guys. Hell, for basketball, for years, you'd look over there on the courtside, and you'd see exactly who was present for every game, and you know who they were and what they meant to the program and how much they cared about the program. And
doctor.
Yeah, so that sort of thing. We're not blind about how this thing gets done, but there have been others waiting in the wings, and I think that they feel energized right now with this approach, these connections, and the need to make a splash. The thing that happens in basketball, it's fewer players, and you might have to spend big on a smaller roster, and it may seem extreme. But if you get it rolling and you do what you say you're going to do, you churn out some pros. Kids want to get to the NBA. I mean, that's really everything, right? I want to get to the NBA. If you're able to make it happen, then you pay less for those players the next go around, the next class. Then it's because, hey, this guy said he was going to do this. He did do this for these guys. I'm interested, very interested in that. Maybe I get paid more to go over here, but this guy's already proven it. I'll listen to what he has to say. And now you're in the game.
Yeah, you have to go on faith in the beginning where you say, hey, it's going to cost you a couple $100,000 to come here in your college payment. But when you make that first check in professional basketball, you can thank me at that point because that's my job. Is to make that happen for you.
And you'll thank me by adding to the collective's ability to bring in players like yourself.
You could just give of your time at that point. And when you get to your second contract and your third contract, I'm going to ask for a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
But for that first contract, just give of your time. Be willing to FaceTime with a 16 or 17-year-old AAU superstar who I need to be a part of my program. Look, there's nothing like Doak Campbell Stadium in a situation like we had on Saturday. I know it looked different, but it felt the same. If that makes sense, the noise, the pageantry, but there is something special about a sold-out TLC Double C for a big-time basketball game.
It's fun.
And the noise in that place. It really was a sight to see for a lot of the last 15 years, not the least of which was 2.0 when Florida State played a little bit of offense here. The COVID year, the seasons leading up to that, all those overtime games that we won consecutively. But you think about that means you went to a lot of overtime games, a lot of them at home at the Tucker Center. It was just a remarkable setting and an underrated ticket to get. It almost felt like a little bit of playoff hockey energy if I can combine different sports experiences. If Luke can get it back there while football is cooking, it's on a day like today after beating Alabama and you keep getting yeses from top 100 players for basketball that you dare to dream that one program doesn't have to give so the other wins, because that's the way it has been here in Tallahassee the last 10 years.
When you see programs that get it rolling with both of those programs, football and basketball, you get angry when you can't, when you're saying to yourself, well, we just have to take a back seat here right now. We can't be like, I don't know, Texas or Florida. That'll piss you off. And it doesn't have to be that way. You waited, you wanted, you hoped, but you needed a spark, that's for sure. Is it more difficult to get it done here than some other places? It is. There's no excuse for Notre Dame not to be elite in many other schools that have more money than they know what to do with, who absolutely make exceptions for athletes academically. They absolutely do. Now, maybe not to the degree that other schools do, but they do. And you have to, you have to compete somewhere within the realm of what's realistic here at Florida State. But what's realistic is, and Ham proved it, being top 5 in the ACC. That's realistic.
Well, and how realistic is it to be top 5 in the Big Ten or the SEC if you make it there? And if Luke can bridge the gap between
then the
that
money's
moment
coming,
and this moment by front-loading whatever needs to happen in order to get some kids on campus. But if you can get to a Power 2 existence, let's just say they don't reclassify the sport of football, and it is about landing in a Power 2. That money comes in, they're going to spend it on basketball. And I think there are material improvements coming to basketball anyway behind the scenes.
Well, that's true.
It sounds like that is on the docket.
Peter Collins told you that.
That was one thing that came up in passing about all the capital projects that they're working on as a university, in the athletic department. A lot of things being built at Florida State. Just drive by 3 weeks from now. It'll look completely different than it did today. But basketball is on the docket for that, and that will help too.
Here's the problem, if you want to call it a problem. Baseball needs a new stadium. But the initiative and the way that you can make more money for that to happen is for basketball and football to be good. That's how baseball and all the other sports will benefit. The community here, I think, cares more about baseball. But the path to get the extra money via the settlement with the ACC is actually through basketball. A little bit through baseball, but more of a sizable chunk of change coming your way for being big time in basketball. Now, the biggest is obviously always going to be football. And to that end, those numbers that were reported yesterday and today about Florida State's game against Alabama and how many people were watching, check the box, baby. We're off to a flying start.
Yeah, it is a record-setting number for week 1 college football season 3:30 slot.
Yeah.
Never been better.
Well, and that's, you went to war with a massive, arguably the biggest brand not named Notre Dame in all of football.
According to Florida State's math, since the college football playoff has been in existence, this is now season 11, I guess that would be, or season 12. Can't do the math.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 7th highest 3:30 window rating in that time. 7th highest. And as you know, ratings have only gone up and away in the last 10, 11 years.
I real quick to put a ribbon on the enthusiasm, at least for now, or on the subject of where this is going to take us and what those games, those high-profile games we're going to play. We've got one in a few weeks against Miami. And that's already a game that, over the years has had a massive following, but not as big as it once was. Obviously, in the 90s, those were epic clashes, NFL talent at every position, and so much at stake, possible national championship at stake. But if Miami takes care of business against Florida, and I say takes care of business as if they ought to, I don't know that they should. I don't know that they're that much more talented than Florida. I think it'll be a very good game. So we'll just wait and see.
That triangle of USF, Florida, and Miami is very interesting to sort out.
It is. When we'll watch them play USF being the common denominator, that is fascinating to watch for all of us because we play both Florida and Miami. But if Miami were to win, and you saw the Chris Felica stat that he brought up. I retweeted it anyhow yesterday or this morning, whenever the hell it was. This is the first time since the 2006 preseason AP poll that Florida, Florida State, and Miami are all ranked inside the top 15. Maybe getting a taste, man. You may be getting a taste of what that was like to walk in with that energy and those nerves and something massive at stake. It's not as much as it once was, where one loss could exclude you from playing for a national title. But when you consider that you're trying to be a team that competes in the ACC championship, there will be a ton on the line when you play the Canes, beyond rivalry.
When you're listing history, perspective, and how long it's been since that or the other, which there might be a little bit more of the next couple of weeks solving for the immediate future, I still stop every once in a while. It's so strange that Gus Malzahn's our offensive coordinator. That's just so weird. He's 1 for 1. First impression, an extremely strong one. And Alabama fans are saying, this freaking always with the Gus, always with Malzahn. It just is still weird that dude is an offensive coordinator and not a head coach, and that he's our offensive coordinator. I don't know. Random observation as you're just putting things in perspective. It's strange that he's wearing our laundry.
Life Spectator, my man, Jeff, when Ham retired, you listed all of the financial challenges associated with the FSU basketball program. Have those issues been remedied now that Luke Laux has become the head coach? And you're speaking of some of the stuff that I laid bare regarding the arena, parking, concessions, what was and wasn't accurate as far as what Florida State is able to make on game days and practice schedule and all that. No, they've not all been remedied. There's more to do. But there is a coach that has now decided to go to war to make things change. And I think he's got some momentum, and I think he's got people in his corner, some very valuable people in his corner that are saying, yeah, about that. And it takes a young, up-and-coming, energetic, pissed off former player here. You think about how much he cares, to come in and start to rattle cages and say, no, this won't do. We can't compete in the current setup. This is not going to work. I need this, and this. And I understand this is going to be difficult, but let's figure out a path to get this done, let alone what it takes to compete to get players. It is all the other stuff, Life Spectator, but I think it's being worked on. And I think he's got some powerful people in his corner. So we'll just see. And I'll know more. I know people. When it comes to basketball, I'll get the info. We'll learn more and more about how this is playing out and what's next, and what's possible, and I'll lay that bare too. Thanks to our friends at ISF. Always, we love collaborating, working with, and being a part of this relationship. ISF.com to learn more about what they provide, not just here in Tallahassee, but throughout the country. Come back, wrap it up. Be time for some probables. Big baseball games at hand as we get down to the nitty-gritty.
Your local news now.
A fourth candidate has entered the ring for Jeremy Matlow's city commission seat. Maxwell Max Hurl filed on August 26th and has previously worked as a lobbyist, political consultant, and advisor for U.S. politicians. Hurl made an announcement on his Facebook page with the news. Talithia Edwards, PJ Andreas Perez both filed the day after Matlow announced he was running for mayor, and Norm Roche filed for candidacy on July 7th. This is all according to the Leon County Supervisor of Elections website. A GoFundMe was created Wednesday for Florida State University football player Ethan Pritchard, who was shot Sunday night in Havana. As of Wednesday afternoon, over $18,500 has been raised to go towards medical expenses, travel, and other needs. Pritchard was found wounded inside a vehicle near the Havana Heights apartments. The shooting left Pritchard in critical but stable condition in the intensive care unit at a local hospital after being shot while visiting family in Havana. The investigation is open and active. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by McEnmore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McEnmoreSystems.com.
Now, here's your Paul's Termite and Pest Control Tallahassee weather report.
From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jillian Preddy. Temperatures are starting to rise into the 80s and will eventually reach the 90s for highs across the board today. We're starting to see those temperatures creep back into average and above average as we move throughout the rest of the week. Going to be having much hotter temperatures into the mid-90s by the weekend. However, rain chances stay very low, only about a 20% chance of rain today. Rain chances start to increase starting Sunday. From the ABC 27 First to Know Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jillian Preddy.
Florida man, why are you hobbling around like you got body slammed by a palm tree?
Well, I was boarding the house up for the hurricane, and Hank, my alligator, thought he would help.
Your alligator was helping?
Well, he was holding the ladder with his tail, but a gust of wind hit me like a jet ski at full throttle. Next thing you know, I'm airborne, plywood in hand, landing in the palmettos.
Florida man, have you been keeping up with your chiropractic adjustments?
I fell off track just like I fell off the ladder. Now my spine's more crooked than a pirate's treasure map.
Look, just like you prep your house for a hurricane, you gotta prep your body for the health storms life throws at you. Don't wait till your spine's blowing in the wind. Take action now.
You're right. I'm headed to Finn Chiropractic faster than Hank goes after a marshmallow.
Go to finnchiro.com, FENNCHIRO.com. That's finnchiro.com. Book your appointment now and take advantage of that online special.
I'm headed to Finn Chiropractic boogity boogity. Hank, get out of the cooler. That's for the hurricane party.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel tip boards and soft tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
It is time, sir. Let's cue it up and have some fun with some probables.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Phillies, Brewers, Rangers, Suarez. Freddie Peralta. Game's going on in about 10 minutes. Not a huge slate tonight. Let's all tune in and see if the Pirates can sweep the Dodgers. Blake Snell will try to prevent that for the Dodgers, as will an ample number of really good hitters. But they're facing the one, the only Paul Skeens, who has a chance to get over 500 on the season. Finally started scoring more than a run when he started games. Goes for the Buccos tonight at 6:40. Skeens Day. Guardians, Rays, Logan Allen, Ryan Pepio going for the Rays. Rays can't afford to be splitting series these days. Got to win and win some more. White Sox, Twins, yawn. Playing out the string, dreaming of golf. Fraser Ellard and Taj Bradley.
Fraser Ellard. Goodness.
Cheats of golf. Angels, Royals, Kyle Hendricks, Noah Cameron. Yankstros, Carlos Rodon. He's had a good year. Christian Javier. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. I will tell you that tomorrow begins, along with the weekend of NFL and college football, an awesome set of games. You'll get Mets Reds, and the Reds are desperate, and that should be fun. And you've got David Peterson starting for you tomorrow.
Yep, then Jonah Tong,
Mm-hmm.
then McLean, and they just called up Sproat. They're going 3 young arms. They told the veterans to go pound sand.
Wouldn't you?
I would. Go pound some rosin.
Done with watching you 4-inning guys. We need to put in a little work here, guys. We got to do something better than this. Anyhow, that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. I wish we were in New Orleans, walking into a seedy bar with a jazz band in the backdrop, a good television, dimly lit room, and an ice-cold beer with delicious food, perhaps some red snapper headed over to the table.
That sounds good. I did look up back in the summer just to see about a potential bye-week trip to watch LSU Florida next week.
Mm-hmm.
Flights weren't bad. Flights were only 3 and change round trip.
Yeah, but
it's 2 puddle jumpers of planes, but still.
Do we get our place back? The place we stayed, the ice-cold air conditioning, but no controllers?
That listing is no more.
Somebody bought it.
I think somebody just lives there now, which, hey, you can walk everywhere you want to go when it comes to LSU sporting events, so understood.
Crazy as we sit here today. If you're wondering and you haven't been paying attention, the Blue Jays lead the Yankees in the AL East by 3.5 games. In truth, that's a 4.5 game lead because head-to-head, Toronto won the season series, so you have to finish a game better than them to avoid because they've changed the system now, Tom. There's no one-game playoff. It's the head-to-head, so screw you to the Yanks. They're really 4.5 back. Just thought I'd point that out. Detroit, we're about done here because I would tell you that at this point, magic number is more appropriate than lead in the division, which is 10.5.
That's one of the great traditions in baseball is the magic number.
Well, it's 13 for the Tigers.
Wow.
It's 13.
Diminutive.
Yes. Houston and Seattle separated by 4 games. Rangers just 5 games back, so that can't put a capper on it just yet there. In the NL East, it is a 5.5 game lead for the Phillies over your Mets, who are back to being 10 games over 500.
Yeah, that is close to insurmountable. Phillies' remaining schedule is pretty doable unless we swept the 4-gamer next week, which, you going to count on that? No.
I don't know, but they've got Milwaukee right now on the road, so there you go.
It's their last of that series, and they played well. They beat the bejesus out of Milwaukee in game 1.
Milwaukee leads by 6 over the Cubs,
who were playing better baseball in the last month.
Yeah, they had a stretch where they weren't good. At least they fought back to being more of a 500-ish team over their last 10 to 20. So, starting to play better. Reds still find themselves desperately searching for the wild card at this point at 70-70. Cardinals and Pirates are out of it. Buccos, though, lately, a nice 8-2 and beating up on the Dodgers. Suck it, LA. It's glorious. Speaking of the Dodgers, they have a 2.5 game lead over the Padres. Giants still kicking around. I mean,
they are, and the Padres have been slipping a little bit lately, and the Dodgers now are in the 3rd position in the National League playoff bracket, which means they would have to play a best-of-3 against the Mets if the season ended today, and if the season ended today, it would be Padres and Cubs.
Yeah, there are, and you realize right now when you're talking about what's best for baseball, we might get Mets, Dodgers, and Red Sox, Yankees in the first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Can you imagine baseball going, yes, please.
Come on, small sample sizes.
Let's go.
If you're going to play the Dodgers, play them in a 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you could win that series.
Nolan McLean.
Young arms, don't know any better. Get excited.
Ignorance is our bliss.
It's tightened up. I mean, when you look at the wild card, Yankees, Red Sox, and Mariners are right there separated by, one. There's a tie and the other one's a half game back. Okay. Man, that works. It's silliness. And in the National League, wild card is Cubs, Padres, Mets. They're separated by a good 4 games between the Padres and the Cubs, and the Mets are just a game back of the Padres.
Yeah, that's who we're trying to run down. And we play them for 3 next week, we do have a 3-game series with them, oddly enough, in late September.
What are the Mets? Yeah, you're only plus 69. Go ahead.
Nice.
Plus 69 run differential this year.
Nah, we've been playing.
Cubs are plus 115. Brewers are 164.
It's some absurd number. It's like 418 baseball for the Mets over the last 2.5 months. It's 3rd or 4th worst in the bigs. But they had just racked up so many wins early in the season that the graph is just slightly going down, down, down.
Sweet Jesus, the poor Rockies are minus 364 in run differential.
Ooh. You can see why they're starting fights if guys are perceived to admire.
They haven't even won 40 games yet this year. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, that 53.5 ticket did not cash for me.
No. Oh, my goodness gracious. Good work out of you. Tomorrow's a Libations Friday. Enjoy the football tonight, everybody. Peace.